You know, it's a good day, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night. There's a lot of stuff to be talked about. But I got my man Six Slayer in the building with me, man. It's good to have you here, Slick. What's going on with you, bro?
Same old, same old. Another week almost over. After all the excitement of E3 last week, it's a comparatively calmer week. A lot of people still in denial about certain things, you know. But generally, it's been quite peaceful in the gaming landscape. A lot of people opening their eyes, a lot of people putting their hands over their ears, and a lot of other people putting their hands over their mouths, you know? See
Yeah,
no
man,
evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
There you go. I'm starting to see a lot of stuff, man. You know, I'm starting to see a lot of stuff accumulate. And it's gotten to, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm hyped. There's a lot of things that got me hyped, man, and I got to speak about it. But before I do, it's good to have you, man. Like I said, good to have you. Fire Boss is supposed to be coming. He had to run to the store. You know, that's a live and direct moment. We got to clown him. But get his little groceries, his sandwich meat or whatever, his bread and mayonnaise, whatever he's got to do. You know, get his little grape sodas or whatever. But we had to clown him. But if he doesn't show up, salute to him. We got his back. But I got my man Six Slayer in the building. And before we start the show, I want to give a special thanks, man, once again, to everybody out there that supports the channel day in and day out. To everybody that I know that puts in good work, that actually has channels, are part of the underground like me, who actually puts out good informative information whenever they drop their passion and their ideas of wanting to bring it out to the public. So I truly understand that, and it's truly relative over here. Shout outs to that. Look. Well,
just in time.
Just in time. You know, just spoke about him. And when he goes back to
late. Look at that.
He'll laugh too, because it came right on time. I don't even want to look. We got after Slick Slayer, the boss. Fire Boss in the building. Is good to have him. Good to have him, man.
Well, you know how it is with us black folk. You know how it is with us black folk. You know what when you get into the job and stuff. You know, I'm not. It ain't me late. It's just that y'all early.
Put it like this. Hey, man, I asked Sick how was his week, so I'm gonna ask you, man, how was your week, man? How you doing, brother?
Boss?
Did he go out? Oh, boss,
no.
If you didn't hear me. If you didn't hear me, I said I asked Six Slayer how was he doing and how was his week going, man. So I'm gonna ask you the same thing, brother. How's your week going, brother?
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, man. My week is going as usual, man. It's you know, a lot of hustling, bustling going on because as I was telling you the other day, when we was talking to each other, my little brother rejoined the swim team. So
right.
So yeah, he pretty much ever since age 4, he's been swimming competitively.
Hey man, congratulations to him.
Yeah, he even went as far as the Junior Olympics.
Wow,
that's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that he I mean, for his age group, I mean, he was dominating, even getting crowned champion, freestyle champion twice for this region.
All right. Big brother out here giving a shout out to his little brother, man. We got room for that.
Yeah, so he's been out of the game for about I think about 3 years. So it's kind of interesting to see, you know, if he has what it takes to, you know, kind of like, you know, do that comeback and reclaim that that gold and everything. And those that were there when he left, I do catch them kind of like, you know, making a few little snark remarks and stuff like that. And he just kind of just looks at them, and next thing I know, when they're doing their little mock races, he done blew them out the water. And he's like, I've been gone for like 3 years. What the hell y'all been doing?
Right. Man, well, man, listen, man, you got us hyped. A big brother feeling excited for his little brother, man. Yo, shout outs to Fireboss's brother. I hope everything goes well for him. And, you know, and the most important thing, right, is that he's doing something that he just loves to do, man. So regardless of the outcome, he's back in that water, man, doing what he loves to do. And we're back tonight, people. We here, and we're doing what we love to do, live and direct to everybody out there in the world that supports this channel. Like I said, man, I want to say major shout outs to the ultimate chat room at Xbox Live community who actually put the pieces together for this very channel to exist. It wouldn't be here without y'all, and we can't speak enough of y'all, because without y'all, it's nothing. Without community, it's nothing. So we always going to be handing our flowers out to our community out there. But with no further ado, we're going to get this show started. I'm glad everybody's doing okay. It's a beautiful night out here in Northwest Texas. I say Northwest Central Texas in a way, you know. But in the metropolitan area, the temperature is nice here. The weather is nice right now. No rain, just nice little evening. And I hope everybody out there is being safe and staying positive as well. Gaming on your Xboxes, because I got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Before I do, guys, I just got one question.
What's that, Legal?
Why is Xbox upgrading so much, man? Why is this console a monster that eats monsters? At this point, I can't see anybody hating on Xbox with a straight emotional feeling. Like, you got to be applauding what Microsoft is doing for this box right now. And we got tons of news to drop, but I want to start with that one.
Well, Xbox be Dragon Balling on these people. They're like, this isn't even my final tool set.
Well, to make the answer quite simple, it's because they built it that way. I mean, Microsoft, it's a software company, not a hardware company. They understand the power of software. Hardware is set, software is not. And even as far back as the Xbox 360, continue to evolve with new features like party chats and other things it wasn't originally made to do, you know? So
thank you, Thick.
That's exactly what I mean. That's a simple answer to the question, but there's more details in that, and we can get into that depth if we need to. But put simply, that's what it is.
And it's funny when people keep on trying to poke at Jason Ronald, sorry, and Phil, like, oh, so I guess a few years from now we're going to see a revision, right? What do you mean? What do you mean a revision?
Right.
If any system needs a revision, we already know that's the PS5. Will there be an Xbox revision? Sure, a cost-reduced revision. That's what happens all the time with any kind of hardware. The PS5 is going to have one. The PS5 needs one. But even if it didn't, it would happen eventually, and so will this Xbox. You know, it'll be cheaper. You know, there's a lot of people who's sitting on the fence. You know, who's concerned about price, who don't get a console day one. They wait a year or two when the consoles have dropped. You know, price drop, or even two. You know, $499 is a lot. It's a lot for some people, but hey, folks, if that's how you feel, don't forget this is a Series S, you know, and even if you're a PlayStation guy, you want to rock PlayStation. They also got that digital edition that's $100 off. Don't sit there and believe the lies. Use some logic. Use past history to show you the way. Like, this is not something new. People are trying to spin things into, you know, one way or another, but it's simple facts. It has always been with us in gaming, even as far back as the 8 and 16-bit systems, or even the Atari. You know, they made different revisions when they optimized the design, you know, chips, because, you know, cheaper or whatnot. It fixed, you know, little bugs, you know, that maybe you never even noticed, but internal to them, you know, it was a little bit of a problem that they had to do software workarounds or whatever, and then later revisions don't got these issues. It's how things have always been. But some people like to spin that into some kind of new narrative to point, fingers one way or another. It's all foolishness.
I have to agree with you, man. I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
What in the world is Microsoft doing being in the 2 trillion exclusive category with Apple, people? What is going on here?
I'll tell you what's going on. They ain't done. They're gonna keep. They're determined to keep climbing.
Facts.
Doesn't look
I
like they
mean,
sliding down, y'all. It doesn't look like they sliding down, y'all.
Like
But they
breaks.
mad.
Like
Why
breaks.
they
What
mad
breaks?
at that, man? Why are they mad
Like,
at Microsoft capping at 2 trillion, man? Why are people mad at that?
hey
I
guys,
don't.
am
I
I
don't.
botting? Because my you guys sound all crackly, but am I sounding good?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
sound
You
good,
sound.
man. You was
Yeah.
crackly on my side for a minute, but you're good, man. You're good.
I don't know, some kind of interference, I guess,
Don't
maybe. But anyway,
facts. 2 trillion, baby. Put that in the bag.
and more to come.
Man.
More to come.
Man.
2
It's just.
trillion. We got something else. We got something else. It's just, you know what? Let me break this down for people about Di-RRec gaming, man. Look, man. Everybody has a show. Everybody has a show. And I'm getting off subject for a minute, but I want everybody to really understand what we do here, man. What we do here. I have an art form that that I'm proud about when I'm doing this channel. Um, I tend to listen to the streets. I tend to stay dived into the talks, I get into them involved in my community. Simply because that's what I do. It's not just because it's social media. It's just what I've always done. Even when it was just console, the TV, and the chats or whatever. I enjoy the conversations. I enjoy the laugh, and I enjoy the talks. Right, but I don't want anybody to feel that when we come on, it's because we're literally thinking, or I'm literally thinking, oh, somebody's show tonight or something, and I'm jumping in front of them or something like that. I don't pay attention to other people's channels and the times that they get on. I'm oblivious to that. And I don't want anybody to think that if I do happen to jump in at the same time that they jumped in or something like that, that's my intentions. But I feel like everybody has channels. I didn't build my channel the same way. I don't make schedules. I'm not a schedule type person, and I don't live my life by rituals. So I'm not ritual. I don't like that. I don't like, because anything can happen. I like to tend to flow off of, hey, when it's available, let's do it. At set times, things can happen, and then there's letdowns. So direct gaming flows freely, but this isn't just a gaming news YouTube channel. It's also a gaming channel. But I don't want people to think that we're just news channels. We're just a news channel. We are a breaking news channel. Okay? There's a difference in that type of news. News channel is something that goes all around the clock. 24/7, 365 days, regurgitated information. Breaking news will interrupt that. As you know, as you've heard us.
Absolutely.
You've heard this before. You've heard that before.
Like this just in.
Breaking news. Even if you was watching the news, when breaking news comes, it's exactly what it says. It breaks the news that you're looking at, and it gets down to the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Direct gaming is breaking news, and I want to say that just for the record, so that everybody understands the art form here. We're breaking news, okay? But we also enjoy our gaming. So let's continue. 2 trillion. On top of that, Windows 11 free upgrade. On top of that, there's 1.5 billion PCs in the world with Windows operating system in them. Now you understand why Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox. Today, Kotaku put out an article today. It's kind of funny, right? Kotaku put out an article today saying that with the new Windows 11, Microsoft is trying to get your PC more like an Xbox. Why wasn't that said the other way around? Think about that, people. Think about that.
The shade, always with the shade when it comes to Kotaku. But the thing about it is,
I was trying to poison the water fountain.
Yeah, but when you think about it, why do it have to be one or the other? Just like that little girl, that little Asian girl in the commercial. I love to, to reference that girl because I'm that type of person. Why not both? Like the Xbox is more like PC, PC is more like Xbox. They're sharing the same software features.
Same APIs.
Same API. They're codependent. They're a part of the same family. You can even run the same games on them. You buy one, you buy once. You can play on both. You can communicate with each other on both. Windows has long since had the Xbox chat system built into it. There's many a time I'm on the Xbox chat with other people. I'm on my PC. A lot of people like one of the Giants and others have been like, "Oh, you're usually on Xbox all the time, but I don't see you playing no games." No. My PC's on 24/7. In fact, I'm upgrading my hard drive right now in the background, and I'm cloning the drive onto a bigger drive, right? So usually my PC is on 24/7. You'll see me locked in 24/7. You can send me a message, or if I'm actually there, I could pop into a chat with you on Xbox Live. I'm able to do that on the PC because Microsoft set that up. They're the same platform. It's one platform, But of course, we know how Kotaku do. They always like to poison the well. They like to take the facts and spin it in some kind of way to meet some kind of narrative that will get them clicks, and stuff like that. It's the typical Kotaku, but don't get it twisted, folks. This is Microsoft's grand master plan, and they've made no bones about it off bat. We all knew this is what it was because they told us so. And even before they came up and said it, we all suspected that's what they were gonna do. And when they came up and they said what it was anybody surprised? I know I wasn't.
Right. That's right. No, you're speaking facts because there's another breaking news to be mentioned after if Fireboss has anything to say to what you just said, Sinclair.
Yeah. Well, piggybacking off my boy Sick here. He's hitting some major points, and the thing is that everybody who tunes in to check us out or picks this video up later, this is I'm about to hit you with one of those Sherlock moments.
All right.
Now remember
things
the
that
interview.
Make you go right?
Yes. Yes, the brother who taps his forehead and the little meme, little gif and everything. You start thinking about this stuff. The wheels start turning. Now remember when they interviewed Todd Howard, all right, just a few days ago, with the whole pick a side, little narrative and everything like that. And he basically expressed it. He made it clear where it's like, this allows us to focus on one platform. And you could say, PC is another platform, but he also added that, but they're practically one and the same. What we do is we develop for PC and then we bring it to Xbox. Because we all remember Bethesda, and id Software and all them, they started from PC. That was their home. That was their roots. The only thing with this this acquisition and everything is they're home. They're back home now. They're unloading the Mayflower truck and dusting off the plates and and they're home. So this benefits them because they're able to do the one thing that a whole lot of the negative types like to throw in us Xbox folks' faces.
Right.
Oh, well, Naughty Dog stuff looks good because they just focus on that hardware. Well, guess what just happened? You brought up a very, very fine point. And now, guess what? Bethesda gets to focus on just one singular platform. Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you, guys. You made us see the light. We really appreciate that. Wasn't that good looking out, guys?
Right.
Hey, man, they're doing it for the community, aren't they?
You're like,
right.
That's right. Be like, this is for you, citizen.
Right. Right.
And so the reason why I say that this is an aha moment is because now that Windows 11 is dropping and we getting this, like what Sick was pointing out, because I just saw the headline myself a few seconds ago when we started, is that, I guess like Sarah Bond, not Sarah Bond, what's her name? Well, my brain's freezing up, but more or less they're stating that they're one and the same. And of course, Kotaku trying to flip the script and everything, but yet here it is. It's like, boom, there you go. That just pointed that there it is. That's it. They're one and the same now. So, and then you take what Todd Howard said. Yeah, they're one and the same. You guys get what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely.
It's all connecting together now. And with legal also adding about the number of Windows-based PCs all across the globe.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Let's go ahead and you can call me tonight. You can call me the Undertaker. You can call me the Gravedigger because I'm about to bring up something dead, and I'm going to kill it again. So again, that conversation that comes up. Whoa, well, yeah. Game Pass might be coming to the Switch. Why? What's the point? Oh, that's that 8 point something, whatever million, Switch users is probably higher than that, out there and stuff. Yeah, but why? They all got PCs. And if they don't have PCs, they all have tablets and smartphones. Right? So why put in the effort and the engineering cost and the overheads of trying to run, even if it's the Pro we're talking about, to try to run something like Game Pass on such anorexic hardware?
I'm glad Cicada says something if I'm saying your name right.
Cicada.
Cicada, yeah. And Six Slayer, I got that too. I'm glad you reached out. But yeah, man, Fireballs, this is gonna be a good show tonight. Emmanuel A1 in the building. Appreciate you, man. We're gonna take this one, man, and we're gonna really enjoy. I'm serious. We're gonna really enjoy this.
That was a good question too. So yeah.
Yeah, it was. I wanna, as a matter of fact, I want to actually switch off of that since you answered him, and that was pretty good.
Thanks.
And I want people to understand that Sony and Microsoft with this new generational features, okay? Understand that, but understand that Xbox fully has it optimized, fully has RDNA 2 optimized, while Sony has certain features of RDNA 2 that are being optimized. So they're not.
Yeah.
One is fully loaded. The other one is halfway full with 38s and 357 shells. They can both be used out of the same gun. All right.
I guess one way to put it, started butt in legal, but one way to put it for you, Cicada, is think of it this way: your Windows PC, if it's Windows you're rocking with, uses DirectX. So what is the Xbox using for its APIs? DirectX. That makes it easier to tie everything together and just simply one or two snips of code move everything over. Whereas with the PlayStation, and even we'll even say even the Switch,
yeah,
they don't use DirectX.
No.
because they don't have a Windows based based library. Because if they did, they have to, you best believe they're going to have to pay, all sorts of royalties for that per unit, per system sold. And they don't want to do that. So how in the world are you going to get those games to work without DirectX? You're going to have to do a whole lot of finagling. You're going to have to look up a whole lot of open source, software and libraries, because a lot of the stuff
Right.
that PlayStation uses is open source based or BSD based.
Now hold that
Yep.
real quick. That's what I used to talk about back in my days when I was in the trenches. Now people are starting to see what I was always saying was true anyway. You are so correct with that, Fireballs. And what they actually used was OpenGL. See, and I don't even want to talk about this and put too much on this because this is old news. Old news,
Right. Yeah, because nowadays it's Vulkan.
Right.
Same thing.
But what happened was there was a war going on, right? Back in the late 90s between AMD and Microsoft. Who we see today, like Miss Sue, she wasn't always there. All right. So just know that there was people that used to work with AMD that actually they didn't like Microsoft that much. All right. And this whole notion of open sources, Microsoft never really liked that in the beginning, because in the beginning with that, there was too much at risk. Hackers and everything else getting involved in stuff. Microsoft, understand this about Microsoft. They're always going to put safety first. They're always going to put safety first. So even though they were, they were getting their Windows ready for the interweb and all that other stuff, because that's Windows actually did. It helped the internet grow. All right. So when they were getting that ready and everything, they wanted to have a safety mechanism. They didn't just want to put it out there so anybody just get in there and do whatever they want. But there was a certain group of people with their companies that thought that it was cool. They looked at it like this. Well, we don't want barriers. We don't want to be told what to do. Kind of, if I'm making sense. You know what I'm saying? They want to be more freely, but not understanding there's consequences with that. Microsoft too. But they're like, look, let's build a nice infrastructure that will allow us to be like now. You remember when Microsoft used to get scrutinized for being to themselves a lot, and they held DirectX to themselves a lot? And what happened? A lot of the companies didn't want to fool with Microsoft just because of that. Now, oh man, it's so much, y'all, so much, but it's just part of my roots, right? I love to explain. I know Sick does and Fireballs. It's just in our roots. But
because it explains everything when you know what it was. Right. It's black and white to you.
Right. Bear with me, because I'm gonna try to say this as fast as I can, because I don't want to go back to this. But they went to war, okay? They went to war. And what I mean by they went to war with their technologies, all right?
They competed, basically.
Right, they competed. Understand. You remember there was a name called Mantle at one time. And Mantle was it when it came to PC gaming and all that, right? NVIDIA always was like the stepchild of AMD. All right, but NVIDIA was always there. Mantle was being used. Well, DirectX was created in 1995, 96-ish. And
it offshooted off the port of doom they did for Windows 95 that started that whole
DirectX. There it is, 95, exactly. What I want to do is basically describe DirectX, okay? We say it all the time. And I know y'all bugging. Well, what's Legal about to say? What is he talking about? We say it all the time. We say it all the time when we talk about how good games look. We use the word graphic, all right? And we use the word graphics, right? Well, DirectX, the definition of DirectX is graphics. It's just the name Microsoft gave it. DirectX is graphics. I can't say it any simpler. There's nothing in the market built more exclusively. this is what set DirectX apart from everybody else. This thing specializes in graphics. All right. So the low API movement been going on. All right. How can we up the ante up in visuals while holding a steady frame rate? All right. And Microsoft had this jewel in the safe, in a vault, locked away. And when it was time to reveal it, you know, they got a lot of mockery because it was good, but everybody else's equipment wasn't up to par to run it correctly. So here's Microsoft with all their stuff, which is a software giant, you know, they got their stuff built and they can run it properly. This is actually what the Xbox was created on. As a matter of fact, the Xbox standard form name is DirectX.
Yes.
People don't understand. They just it's DirectX, but they wanted to abbreviate that name because it was too long. We don't want a console called DirectX. It's just too long. So they took the X, which in any kind of algebraic equation or any numerical definition for something, the X has always meant either unlimited or unknown or X amount of power or X amount of, you know what I'm saying? It's always, the X always was like, okay, look, we don't even want to write it out. It's infinite. Okay.
It's like an algebra. It's a variable. It could be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. It's a variable. So you can take the X and actually it's a good substitute word for anything that you would want it to be. Okay. Now you can see the Xbox maturing as each year goes by. But when DirectX was out, it was in a graphic form and it was pushing its power. Well, AMD got that mantle out, right? And they was showing that mantle. With DirectX, I believe it was 10.
Yes, competing to DirectX 10. Yes.
Yep. They destroyed mantle. And because Microsoft was going through so much scrutiny, they were playing hardball because you got to understand who was running them back then. Those guys were serious. The Windows team was serious.
Ballmer. Yeah, the tough guy.
Was serious. So when Mantle lost, they had to go. And basically, because they thought they were going to easily beat Microsoft at it, they paid the price for it. Mantle is no longer involved in console gaming no more. That's when they got destroyed. I think it was in 1999 or something like that, right before 2K. Got destroyed. And it got destroyed bad. As a matter of fact, I saw I used to watch the thing on YouTube. I don't even know if it's still up, but I used to watch those little seminar things, man. It was good
Channel
stuff.
9 on Channel 9.
Yeah, this is why I know. Right, this is why I know these things. I actually saw it with my own eyes, right? It's hard to go back when you're talking about 6 years of doing that, studying it before you came out on the social web and start speaking these facts, and you're speaking it to gamers who don't do their research. So of course they're gonna think I'm lying. But now you think they think I'm lying now? They know who I am. You think they think I'm lying now when all this stuff is being revealed? Why do you think I'm so easily tap dancing out here, having fun, laughing? Because I've already said this stuff. Now it's like a slow cooker. I was putting in my meat. I was getting ready for the barbecue. I just had to wait on that special sauce.
Leave it to a Texan to talk about smoking meat.
Right. It's hilarious out here, right? So when that happened, AMD looked at NVIDIA and was like, nah, we ain't finna go to war with them. NVIDIA was like, you right, backed off. So NVIDIA became that graphic card pusher that got involved with the ray tracing with Microsoft. Notice how they started getting their tools. At first, nobody wanted to bother them. But when they saw that destruction, It was like, yeah, we don't want to get X'd out of this game. So we need to stay here and become partners with Microsoft. AMD said the same thing. Mantle had to go. So now you start to see partnerships happening. You start to see DirectX coming out of its shell, right? Once things got built to where Microsoft felt comfortable where they can release it now out to the market and get it out there where everybody can use it. But they wasn't just going to do that with this thing, right? So you get NVIDIA still holding on to OpenGL and a couple of more groups, and they formed the Kronos Group. The Kronos Group, the Kronos isn't just one company. It's a multiple of companies together with a common like, all right? That's what the Kronos Group is. But when you think about it, it's still Microsoft is still involved in that. Like, they can't get away from Microsoft. This is why you've seen the video with DXR. That's direct ray tracing. Microsoft always has its own stuff. And now the Xbox is finally at a point where it's not a little kid anymore. It's not a teenager anymore. The Xbox is turning 21.
And to give a little detail on this whole thing with Mantle and everything else. So like you was saying earlier, it was DirectX versus OpenGL, right? OpenGL still exists. That's the open source version. Nowadays is Vulkan they use, right?
That's Vulkan.
Where did Vulkan come from?
That's what people don't understand. It's
where Vulkan come from? Right.
OpenGL went to the ashes and rose back up under Vulkan. They knew
not really. Not really.
They saw how bad it got whooped. Exactly.
Not really. Vulkan, you know what Vulkan is? That's Mantle.
What it is.
See, Mantle failed, right?
Right.
So they gave it away. That evolved into Vulkan.
Right.
Vulkan is like the open source equivalent of DirectX 10. See, remember, DirectX 10 and particularly 11 actually was the whole idea was to get the CPU to stop having to do all this work when you're doing all this graphical draw calls and stuff. Like, let the CPU not have to worry about that. Let the GPU do its work on its own. Well, more on its own than having to have the CPU approve every piece of work it got to do, right? DirectX 11 introduced that, and 12 improved on it. But Mantle was the first to do that, but it didn't really do it too well. But eventually evolved into Vulkan.
So sick. All Vulkan is the next generational form of OpenGL. It was
OpenGL and Mantle.
No, never. It was never Mantle.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's no. If you Google AMD's Mantle,
OpenGL is basically is its own standalone thing.
Yeah.
But because it's open source, it can be
open source.
It can be included in anything you want.
Right.
But under the law that they have to mention, they have to document everything that they do, every changes they make. If not, then that can lead to a class action lawsuit with the group that maintains OpenGL. That's why there's usually that's why you barely
see that's it. Okay,
you barely read or hear about it.
Now that sounds a lot better.
Everything Sick was saying was correct up until just saying in concrete form. I don't want nobody to ever get lost on that Sick. That OpenGL is Mantle. It's not like that. The OpenGL can be incorporated into Mantle because it's an open source. But here's what it is. Is what I'm saying. Vulkan is the new generation open standard API for high efficiency access to graphics and compute on modern GPUs. This ground up design, previously referred to as the next generational OpenGL initiative, provides applications direct control over GPU acceleration for maximized performance and predictably. All right. So Vulkan is a low overhead cross platform API for 3D graphics and computing. So we were off. We stand corrected, Sick, but we were off by one. But we're still compared to OpenGL Direct 3D 11 and metal. Vulkan is intended to offer high performance and more balanced CPU and GPU usage.
Right.
Stick is correct. It was the counterpart for DirectX 10. It sure
Right.
was.
It was like the open source
like
iteration of what they're doing.
Like an option for hey, you don't want to go there, come here.
Yeah. And this is what Sony and Nintendo use now. Although Nintendo has to use it. Right, because they can't use DirectX.
Right, exactly.
They can't use DirectX.
They cannot use it. It's not theirs. They don't even have the infrastructure for it.
They got to be prepared. They got to be prepared to pony up the cash. They okay with Microsoft ponying up cash, but when it's the other way around, oh no, we can't have that.
Right. This is exactly
can't have that.
And you're right. But see, watch this, y'all. I want people to think. Understand why it was built. It was built so that Nintendo and Sony had somewhere else they could go. Think about that. And also know that they're not the ones that are going to push anything forward. This is just facts, y'all. Look, like I said, this is just facts. This isn't you got to get out of your feelings. All right?
Very key.
We're not here bashing another brand or something. We're just here giving you the facts. This is why in the beginning you saw those dev kits working, right? Well, who's constantly getting upgrades right now? And who isn't? And before we even talk about the next one, if there was an article that said, and PS5, there's no source saying that PS5 is getting it right now. We're going to talk about what I was just saying, but that's what I'm talking about. And it's just crazy that all the next generational input is tied with Xbox right now. And my question is, why is that?
Well, I'll tell you why. That too is very simple, right? Because we can get into a whole lane on that, but it's very simple. You know, a lot of this is a lot of theory crafting, but a lot of people seem to accept it as true when you think about it. The PS5 was supposed to be out a year earlier than it actually was, right? So
remember me saying that legal?
Now then, how do we know this to be true, or why do we at least believe this to be true? Because it will never be officially stated, right? So this is always a theory at best to ever be called, because unless somebody can find a way to hack Sony again and get detailed information, we're never going to get a confirmation, because Sony's not going to admit this, right? But if you notice, every leak they were saying about the PS5, I forget the code name they used to call for it, right? But there were two versions of leaks. And there's a dude that myself and Legal, we deal with all the time, Blue Nuhingro. I can never pronounce that name, right? His English isn't too good because he's not a native English speaker. But he and various others on Twitter, since long before the PS5 was even officially revealed, was leaking all types of specs. And remember what those specs
you talking about Blue Violet?
PS5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Blue Violet, right. That the PS5 was 9.2 teraflops, right? We always heard this. Up until they finally announced the details when Mark Cerny went on the podium and did that whole thing where he broke down the hardware, and we see that it could overclock to 10.2. Why is that? Because the theory is they heard what Microsoft was doing about the 12 teraflops. Like that news, somehow, some way, they heard it. They found out somehow, some way, and they panicked, and they started doing this whole overclocking thing, right? So when you look at the SDKs, and we've heard this from multiple people developing on PS5, that is generally the same SDK that they had for the PS4. Why is that? Because it's generally just a faster iteration of what they have before. No new hardware features, right? That they really have to leverage like that. They say the PS5 has hardware ray tracing. No, it doesn't. It's using shaders to do ray tracing. Control, even on the Xbox and the PC, doesn't really use traditional ray tracing hardware. They use the shaders. Go look it up. Control, even on the Xbox and PC, That's what they use. They don't use the real ray tracing hardware to do ray tracing, because the PS4, the PS5 SDK is generally the PS4 SDK. In the early points of the Series X and S had some issues, and they always said it was the SDK. When the SDK gets upgraded and updated and bug fixed and whatnot, you will see the true power of the system. And not too long after that, that's exactly what happened. Meanwhile, the PS5 SDK is mature. Why is that? Because it's generally the same SDK they've been using. It's already mature. They didn't have to add nothing new to it because there's nothing new to add. You follow? So
That's
this
right.
explains why all these things work the way they do. You know, it also explains why it's having these overclocking and heating issues and all of that, but that's other things. But they're all related issues. These are all related things that explain the whole situation.
And that's right. And listen, stop trying to put PlayStation 5 in the same baseball field as the Xbox Series X, because the PlayStation 5 is not even doing the same things that the Xbox Series X can do. I'm gonna bring up something else and see if you two can elaborate on it. If you don't know anything about it, I'll read on it. But they think that Xbox is gonna have this problem with ray tracing. That like the games can't perform. That it's gonna have to have a performance mode. Let me tell y'all something, man. The Xbox Series X and S are not built to have performance modes in them. They're built off of standards. I'm going to repeat that. The Xbox Series X and S are not performance modes consoles. That was last gen for us. You got it confused with the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. Those are not the same as the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X. So I'm going to be clear with that so nobody's confused. What's going on is these consoles have standards, all right? And they're living by their standards. The S, and I'm gonna say it here on Di-RRec Gaming. It will be able to utilize ray tracing with no problem. And I don't even want y'all to try to figure that one out. Just know it's going to. The Xbox Series X, it's going to be running games 4K 60 ray tracing, no problem. The reason why I'm saying that so boldly now is because we were told back in November all the features that were coming out on the Xbox Series X. And a lot of the haters didn't want to read, didn't want to hear it. And I understand that. But it's getting real corny now to hate on Xbox. It's getting corny. You guys are starting to look severely weird out here. People are starting to clown y'all. And it's no longer a cool thing being a Sony fan dissing Xbox. All your narratives are destroyed. And now you don't even have exclusives popping off this year. You have nothing. And if you think that next year you're going to outdo Xbox, I'm sad to tell you this. You won't. The next year after that, you won't. You will never be above Xbox again. Your run stopped at PlayStation 4. And I'm saying that from the kindness of my heart so that you don't get all emotional and lose your minds even more than what y'all are doing now, because y'all are really out here looking stupid and pathetic now. It's getting to the point where it's not even cool clowning y'all anymore. It's getting boring doing it. So now we're sitting back with our island tees, letting y'all do it to yourselves. We don't even have to do it. Y'all are out here petitioning to get rid of Jim Ryan, looking like idiots. You're out here trying to diss Xbox, but it's unfadeable. There was something beautiful that happened that you have to understand the languages of Xbox to understand. Microsoft will always put out something to speak for what's about to happen later on. This Metro Exodus, for everybody out there that has a Series X, a 4K TV, you're in heaven right now. because a free update. And you know what's funny is that this is the second time this game has been optimized. The second one. The first was a revision for the Xbox Series S and X. Remember when it came out? You got the revised version for that. Now we're getting the ray tracing effect. And what's sad about it is the haters were out here thinking that Xbox needed to have performance modes in order to do this. Totally ignoring what was previously told us back in November about Gears 5. Saying that they got that game running off of 100 frames per second in ultra 4K. Off of raw power. Nothing being used. No features, no anything. I'll take ultra 4K 100 frames per second any day. Any day. You think that when Microsoft uses cheat codes, say all these little things that are going to be cheating for them, do y'all think that it's going to get worse? It's going to get extremely better. You thought they were lying when they said 25 teraflops? This console is capable of running 25 teraflops, and yet you're bringing other consoles up to us? You think I'm playing? Okay. It was told to us back in November. So why now, in April of this year, there's an article out, and I'm not even going to tell you the name of it. Look it up yourself. Xbox Series X exceeds 25 teraflops of power with ray tracing. It didn't say it has. It said it exceeds it. And I'm going to keep reading. Yesterday was extremely important for all those who could not wait to find out in detail what to expect from the Xbox Series X. The console that represents the next gen of Microsoft is on balance the first next generational hardware to be revealed in detail, waiting for the PlayStation 5 to finally be discovered. For now, we have our hands above all several rumors. Beyond, right? Beyond the dimensions and the different features, the Redmond company has unveiled in detail the complete specifications that characterize the hardware of the platform. We know that we are talking about 12 teraflops of power, but apparently the actual performance would also be much higher thanks to the hardware software integration and optimization guaranteed by Microsoft's work. All this information comes directly from Andrew Goosen, the system architect and central figure of the Xbox consoles, who explained this aspect in detail, referring in particularly to the ray tracing operations. Buckle up, because tonight I give you no hope of clarity of thinking that any of these consoles are even close to the Xbox Series X. Without hardware acceleration, these operations could have been carried out in the shader, but they would have consumed more than 13 teraflops alone. Did you not hear me? I hope Six Layer and Boss is hearing me.
Oh, we hear you.
Without hardware acceleration, these operations could have been carried out in the shader, but they would have consumed more than 13 teraflops alone. And I want to repeat this. This article that's being written now is April of this year. The first time we heard about 25 teraflops by Andrew Goosen was in November. As a matter of fact, I actually did a video on him. Okay, for Xbox Series X, this work is entrusted to dedicated hardware, which PlayStation don't have. And the shader can continue to work in parallel at full capacity, which PlayStation doesn't do. Other words, the Xbox Series X can actually touch the equivalent of more than 25 performant teraflops while using, the key word is while using ray tracing. No hope for you. There's no hope for you. Any hater that's hating today, there's no hope for you. And I'm saying that from the calmness and the coolness and the nicest spot of my heart. This tranquilizer dart that I'm sending you is high potent, but I have taken some of the potency out of this tranquilizer dart. So when I hit you with it, I'm laying you down real easy. I'll even let you walk 10 miles. I'm a nice guy. I'll let you walk 10 miles before you finally hit the ground. All right? But I want you to soak this up, you haters of the Xbox community, right?
The 5-point exploding heart punch or whatever, Kill Bill, that's what you gave him?
I'm not done yet.
Oh, it's worse. Oh, no, y'all getting it now.
Facts. Not done yet. All right? They hate this channel. You know why they hate this channel, Sick Boss? Because we tell the facts and we don't include our feelings in it. And we just spit the facts. They don't want facts anymore. They don't want truth anymore. They want to go to a TD Jake show. We're not TD Jake show here. We're not Kurt Franklin. All right? We're none of them dudes. We're not Creflo Dollars in them, you know? Peter Popoff got redemption. At least he came out and said he was fake, said what he was doing was fake. So he's been redeemed a little bit. But we're not Joel Osteen. Even though I'm in Texas, we ain't Joel Osteen in here. All right? So here comes the pain. And pain is love. Pain is love. All right? Xbox Series X even goes beyond PC standards. Uh-oh. Hold on, PC crowd. Don't run up on me so fast, all right? Hold on. Let me load up so I can shoot y'all with some tranquilizer dots too. Xbox Series X even goes beyond PC standards when it comes to delivering more power and flexibility to developers. Notice what it said, to developers. All right? It has nothing to do with what you think Xbox can't do. Just understand what it can do for developers. All right? That's the key word right there. So there's something going on to where developers making their games on PC to where developers can make their games on Xbox. And there's an advantage here. It's being spoken to. And notice this article that I'm reading from this year, they're seeing this. They're writing this article from not from a bird's eye view, but like from a face front view. This is right there in their eyes. They're getting it. It's all laid out for them, and they're seeing this. All right? So the Xbox Series X, I love to repeat this again, even goes beyond PC standards when it comes to delivering more power and flexibility to developers. With these building blocks, we expect ray tracing to be an area capable of delivering incredible graphics and great innovation thanks to the work of the developers during the life cycle of the console. So what did I say? That's right. There's no Miss Cleo here, bro. None of that. So what did I say? What did I say in my video that I posted up today, just to remind people that I was right last year. I was right. And the headline of it was that the Series X is going to be a fantastic track star, an Olympian. And I beg for anybody to refute me, to challenge me on this. Because there's one thing about legal, man. I used to roll the dice. I used to actually have a gambling ring in high school. I conducted it. There's a lot of things I held tournaments about, and that was one of my bad areas. But hey, man, listen, I never rolled or never betted with doubt. If I'm not going to come out with that pot, then I'm not playing for that day. So when I'm saying this stuff, it's because I know I'm accurate, and there ain't no doubt in my voice at all. Xbox Series X is going to be great throughout its whole life cycle because it's future-proof. And I know people use that word loosely. Oh, future-proof. But nah, I'm saying it's future-proof. whatever PC comes out with, the X will be able to utilize at that same forefront. It's not going to be left behind. The Xbox Series X is not going to be left behind. Sorry to break y'all's heart, but it's going to be a monster throughout its whole life cycle. A concentrate of power with many interesting features, Microsoft has unveiled its creature with a very convincing hardware side for now. Now the ball goes to Sony. That's it. You see how they ended that? Now, while Microsoft will be using Xbox, throwing here and there all through its life cycle, Microsoft basically said this. Look, Sony, we're home court advantage, but we're cool. We're cool. We'll give you the ball first. This is a game of 21. We'll give you the ball first, even though it's home court advantage. So I'm just letting y'all know that the Xbox Series X is way overpowered than any console out. The consoles that are going to come out, not even going to be close to this thing. And just to let you know, you can forget about all these other different kind of consoles coming out this life gen, because Microsoft is controlling this generation. If anybody gets new technology, it's going to be Xbox getting it first, because Xbox is $1 trillion company and Sony isn't. It goes back to my elementary fundamental quote that I used to say. And I'm just bringing this back because this is a reminder show. And I'm going to say this with such integrity, all right? And understand where I got this from. Actually, this term was when I had my little gambling ring back in high school. I got it from that, as a matter of fact, and it still lives on to this day. It's called Big Bank Takes Little Bank. Y'all know I made that famous. And so anybody who has at least half a brain will never, ever, 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 ever bet on the little bank. Because, yes, the little bank can win at times, but here's the thing about the little bank. When it runs out, it runs out. The big bank just simply will not be defeated by the little bank, because the big bank will always have more than the little bank. So this is why Sony runs sprints, and this is why Microsoft runs marathons. I know y'all heard the language before, and I know you laughed when you used to hear from Microsoft when they would talk about this is not a race, a sprint, a race of a sprint, but more of a race of a marathon. And y'all looked at that as a form of weakness, as a cover up for Microsoft. Nah, when I tell y'all that Microsoft with Satya has put in 40-year plan, a 40-year plan. You can't get Sony to even come up with a 5-year plan. You don't even know what Sony's plans are in 5 years, let alone 3. But Microsoft has a 40-year plan. I'm serious. You can look this up. You can actually go on in and look it up. 40-year plan, 40 years. 40 years. And y'all are trying to bring a little bank to the $2 trillion Leviathan now. There's only 2 companies at $2 trillion. That's Apple and Microsoft. Period. Now watch this before I give my 2 compadres here a mic. What is Microsoft Direct Storage API? It's funny because what I got through reading, it says now Microsoft leaves the ball in Sony's hands. This is funny, man, because let me read this and then we'll switch it over, all right? The special treatment that both the Xbox Series X and Series S got from Microsoft is now finally in development and coming to Windows 10. Of course, we're talking about the newest member of the DirectX family, direct storage API. With the introduction and increased availability of SSDs back in the early 2010s, so this is SSDs is not something of new, which is why when you donkeys went around prancing around in these fields and these gaming streets bringing up SSD, we were scratching our heads like, yeah, it's obvious. They're way behind, and they don't possibly know that SSD's been out for over 11 years, but we'll just laugh right now and let Sony Kool-Aid them, which now we see the final results of all of that, right? They're Kool-Aid. They're looking real stupid right now. No, they still don't have an expansion slot, all right? This, with all thanks to the SSD's ability to read and write data at a speed almost 10 times faster than any average HDD. So you understand the significance for SSD. Now, since the SSD have improved 10 times over, especially since the NVMe Express, which is the NVMe, came into play, this is a device controller of the motherboard that allows computers to access storage data through the PCIe bus instead of the old SATA interface. And I know Sick knows what I'm talking about. By opening this new connection between SSDs, right? By opening this new connection between SSDs and the PCI, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna send this to Slick. I'm gonna let Sick read this off to y'all, and because Sick, you can break this down.
Long story short, NVMe and all this stuff, right? Like, you know those cards you get when you get a graphics card. You know that little slot, right? Nowadays, devices connect directly to the CPU via those slots. Those slots are run by the CPU, and they're putting hard drives on those slots, so it's direct, as fast as it can go. Okay? SATA, on the other hand, was a whole different thing that it had to be on the motherboard. It was a whole separate chip. It was this whole thing. So it was more abstraction from A to B, from the drive to the CPU that's making use of the data that's on the drive. Now it's a direct connection, and it's not on a spinning drive or nothing. It's on a chip. These chips are high speed. This is why not only do things load quick, but all those little loads, those little tiny loads, they're instant because no head has to move across some platter fast as this technology can allow. It's so fast that these drives are way faster than the SATA interface was ever able to do. The data can't be any faster until they make faster chips to go down the lane. When you see, they say, what do you call PCIe 4, right? Those are faster than what we had before. Why is that? Because they increased the connection. The physical connection is faster now. So now the drives can be faster. Because the drives could have been faster, but the lane that they run on wasn't fast enough. Now they're fast enough. So the Xbox is taking advantage of this. Even the PlayStation is taking advantage of this. In fact, PlayStation is brute forcing it. See, Microsoft, as I said earlier in the very beginning of the show, is a software company.
What I sent you, Sick, it's all there.
Oh, trust me, this is stuff I'm familiar with, as you assume. So I don't even need to read it. Trust me, this is something I know. In fact, you might have heard I'm doing some things in the background. Like I said, I was cloning my hard drive. I was cloning my hard drive, and my computer is back up, on my new drive with extra space on it now, and I'm just like booting it up and stuff. But and so trust me, I'm very well familiar with this. And so this is what's happening now. We have Microsoft is a software company, like I said, but being the software company, they created Windows and Office and all these things that people depend on, right? They have to deal with also the hardware manufacturers, AMD, NVIDIA, Seagate, Western Digital, whoever. If you're a big dog in this hardware PC industry, you got to deal with Microsoft. That's including Nintendo and Sony, their competitors. That's including Amazon, okay? And Google. They all have to work with Microsoft, and Microsoft in turn has to work with most of them. Not so much Nintendo. They don't really need Nintendo for much of anything, and even Sony to a lesser degree. Although, yeah, at least Sony has some kind of skin in a game, right? Nintendo, not so much. They're mainly a gaming company, right? But generally, Microsoft runs this stuff to a degree that no one can work without them. So they're privy to what the hardware manufacturers are making, and Microsoft is the one who makes the software for everybody. Okay? So now then, and don't worry, Emmanuel, I got you on that. That's the next thing I'm going to talk about. So now, the Xbox is able to perform even better than the PlayStation, which has a physical drive that's twice as fast. Yet and still, either it's trading with the Xbox or the PlayStation will win by some minor margin that at times, at best, is slightly better than within margin of error. And this is why. The Sony has to drive 2 times as fast, yet they can only match what Xbox is doing. Because Sony tried the brute force method. Just like I said earlier, when they tried to overclock the chips, they did the same thing with that. And this is why, even with a drive that's half the speed, the Xbox is able to compete. Now, Emmanuel A1 had a question, and I believe this is because you were listening to 4G QTV, where 108 Dragons Lemon, my good friend, was discussing this whole SSD thing. Now, this is the thing. I've spoken on this before, and we talked about this on the Dragon's Den, but we didn't talk about this when I first discovered this, because as Lem said, and he's right, this is theory, but when you look at everything, you can see this. So a couple months back, some folks have taken the Xbox and the PS5. They've looked at the boards. They desoldered the chips off the board. They've put some acid on top, to melt away the top of the chip, to put it on the X-ray, see what's really on the chips. This is why we know the PS5 isn't really RDNA 2.0, because you could just look at the chips and see what's on there, right? So now then, I'm going to try to make this very simple. Take your time, bro. I'm going to make this very simple because this can be a complicated thing if I don't keep it simple. So, like we were saying on the PC.
I just don't want you to rush. You good.
Oh, no, I won't rush. But like I said on computers, you have these slots.
Look at them.
you got all these slots in the PC, USBs, or whatever, right? You have multiple lanes to connect multiple devices. So imagine, and you can go and look on this. If you Google the breakdown of the PS5 and the Xbox when they looked at the motherboards and they X-rayed the chips. Just Google X-ray Xbox SoC, X-ray PS5 SoC. You'll probably find it, right? And so imagine this: you have an SSD, right? No. Let's do it the other direction. You have the SoC, the system on the chip. Both the PlayStation and the Xbox both have one. They're both made by AMD, right? It's a chip that has the graphics and the CPU all in one, right? There's a highway that comes off of that on the PS5, right? It goes to a chip that controls the SSD, right?
Fact.
Off of that comes another highway, one highway that goes to the SSD chips. On the PS5, they're chips on the motherboard, right? They're chips on the motherboard, directly soldered on. They're made by Toshiba and apparently Kioxia. They were debating that on 4G QTV, but if you Google the iFixit breakdown of the PS5, those chips are made by Kioxia and Toshiba, right?
They're Toshiba?
Toshiba and Kioxia. Okay, Toshiba. Okay? Wow. They make the SSD chips in partnership with Kioxia, which is another company I haven't heard the names of in a while, but I'm sure, obviously they're still active, right? They made some high-end SSD NAND chips, and those chips are soldered directly onto the board, right? Now then, off of that lane is another highway to the slot.
Right, y'all. He's right. Toshiba.
The slot where eventually you'll be able to put in your own SSD. Now, listen to what I just said. A highway that comes off the main processor into the controller chip for the SSD, then into the SSD itself, and then into the slot So one day you'll be able to put in your own SSD. Here's what happens on the Xbox. The Xbox has two highways. They're both the same speed, right? If you was to combine those two highways, they would be the same speed as the one highway that's on the PS5. This is why the PS5 drive is exactly twice the speed. Okay? Microsoft took the highway and split it into two in terms of performance, not in terms of actual lanes on the highway. There's 2 lanes on the Xbox highway per highway. There's 4 lanes, I want to say, on the PS5. I think it's like that. But you see, I'm getting too complicated again. I didn't even need to bring that up. Suffice to say, there's 2 highways on the Xbox chip. One goes to the SSD that's internal to the Xbox, right? And by the way, the SSD is not soldered into the Xbox. You can go Google a picture of the Xbox Series X and S motherboard. You'll see there's a slot, a connector, like for a mini SSD. If you've seen the ones they use on Surfaces and laptops and stuff like that, you see it's a mini NVMe SSD that can be removed. So if one day if that drive fails, this is how Microsoft will be able to fix your system. And I'm sure eventually, the little hacker dudes will figure out how to get the special software or whatever that you can put on your own blank hard drive if your SSD was to die one day, and fix it yourself. They've done that on past Xboxes. I'm sure one day that will happen on the Xbox Series platforms, right? So there's a line, there's a lane that comes off the chip into the internal SSD. There's a secondary lane that comes off of the chip into that connector in the back of your Series X or S for that connector if you get the external drive. They're both the same speed as Microsoft has claimed. Now, Emmanuel is asking, what's all this about possibly the PlayStation won't be able to use both at the same time? Well, think about what I just told you. There's only one highway. How are you going to run both drives on the one highway?
There you go.
This is my theory. I'm the one who came up with this. I've seen this, and if somehow you can have an SSD installed on your PS5 and still use the internal one at the same time, at best, the only thing you could do is cut the speed of both drives in half. And I don't even know if that could be possible. So if somehow Sony even gets it to work that way, Sony has some magicians that somehow even got that to happen, and they got lots of explaining to do, Lucy.
You know what's sick? You know what's sick in Fireboss? As I've been listening, I've been reading, and
you've been Googling, right?
Yeah. Now I want to read this, and then you tell me what's up, okay? But I want you to hear this. That's right. The PlayStation 5 doesn't have one SSD; it has 6. The PlayStation 5 packs 6, and of course, it gives you the label number, which is TH58 LJTOT2.
Well, it's 6 chips that work together. That basically, yeah.
Toshiba BICS 3D, the BICS, basically 3D memory flash chips. Each Toshiba chip is 128 gig, or just over 130
gigabits. Yeah, gigabits. Yeah.
Yeah, gigabytes, or just over 137 gigabytes.
Yeah.
All right.
And in tandem, they all work together to give you that full speed the drive is capable of.
Right. The 6 drives are powered by a custom SSD controller to make it all work as one.
That's right.
Is absolutely dead on tonight, man.
And the only reason I know it's made by Toshiba is in the middle of the 4GQ TV podcast, I happened to be in the chat. I'm sure Emmanuel was there too to know that I was participating in the chat, and everybody was asking, who makes the SSD for the PS5? And I said to myself, hey, you know what? I don't know that. I don't know that. And I do remember seeing that iFixit did the breakdown, and they did say who it was, the part numbers and all that. So I Googled it. And that's the only reason I know off the top of my head, because this just happened about an hour and a half ago on 4GQ TV. And I'm pretty sure Emmanuel was there in the chat to know that.
And Emmanuel, you are exactly right. There's that comment right there is going to stay up there. I think we lost Fireboss, but it's okay. Listen to this, man. The thing that worries me most about the PlayStation 5 is that its main SSD storage is on the motherboard itself. Explain that.
Yes. Yes.
Why would that
Yes.
worry people?
Because, okay, folks, if you haven't heard about the right to repair movement, get knowledgeable on that. You've seen it in practice. These companies, particularly, yes, Fireboss. Welcome back, sir. Okay.
Okay.
The right to repair movement is serious. You see it every day with these technologies. Apple is particularly atrocious with this, but not the only, but probably the biggest name in it. What they do is they don't supply spare parts to anyone unless you're like
a licensed repair.
A licensed repair, and you gotta go through all these hoops and all types of stuff. It's ridiculous.
Which of course has fees.
Right, fees and all types of foolishness. But basically, if you get something that breaks, you can't fix it yourself because they've locked down the supplies of parts and everything else, right? That's one thing. But also, in terms of how things are being designed, this is why I brought up the fact that the chips on the PS5 for the SSD are soldered. On the Xbox, it's a traditional mini-size NVMe drive that could be removed if that drive was to fail one day. Now, normally, if your Xbox was to fail, you send it to Microsoft. They'll fix it by replacing. Let's say it's the drive that died. What they're gonna do is replace the drive. You lose your data, but you save it on the cloud or whatnot, and they'll send you back your Xbox, right? But the right to repair movement is all about you being able to repair your own stuff. Think about if you bought an Apple car. The way Apple is doing things now, you can't even fix your own car. You can't even go to auto whatever to get you a new alternator or whatever to fix your car, or Pep Boys or whatever to fix your car, right? Now, I'm not saying Microsoft is making it that easy for you, but they're not making it harder than it needs to be. Because one day when your Xbox is out of warranty and this knowledge is out there, when they have this the little software to bless a fresh hard drive to put it inside the Xbox so the Xbox will accept it and run, that will be possible one day. Because if your SSD was to fail, you can go out and buy another one. You get that software from however you can. You bless the drive with that software. That's the parlance amongst the tech community. You bless the drive with whatever software the Xbox expects to be on a fresh drive. You pop it in, and as long as everything's okay, you should be good to go. If a PS5 was to fail where its SSD chips was to fail, what the hell are they gonna have to do for you? Replace the whole board. They're gonna have to take apart that whole big mess to get to that board, then replace the whole board. Do you think they're gonna desolder a bunch of chips and then resolder on new ones? No. But if they're not gonna do it, what the hell is gonna make you think you can do it? If something's wrong with your PS5 and it's the SSD drive, you can't because there's just a bunch of chips on the board. You see the difference? And that explains that. So that's the answer to your question.
Yes.
It's really a crazy thing. It really, really is.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't know what was going on with my mic because I can hear y'all perfectly, and I don't know if y'all can hear me and stuff. But I mean,
yeah, we hear you now, bro.
Yeah, you was on a roll, and I was trying to add some stuff to what you were saying, and basically it was just because it's not much I got to say because dude, you nailed everything, but it's the whole fact of the name of the game is optimization.
Yes.
And you hit it on the head when you mentioned that it's all about marrying software to the hardware. And that's something Microsoft has done for decades.
Absolutely.
So they know that better than anybody. Mm-hmm. But also another reason why when I guess you say when we get deeper into this now current gen with the games, everything is going to be laid out. Everything's going to be laid out on the deck. You know how you get those, you get those ships that doing missing people, mm-hmm. Searches and stuff, and they'll pull the body out on put it on the deck and lay it out. That's what that's what's going to happen. because there's going to be a lot of questions that's going to be asked as to, okay, you guys promised us this, but we're not seeing this. What's going on? Well, with that anorexic chip, because see, the thing is, one thing I was trying to interject, to add what you was trying to say, is that, remember, the processor is also tied to that too.
Yes.
So if your processor is looking a mighty light in the loafers, yeah, all that stuff about like, well, we're gonna be seeing 9 gigs and up to 12 gigs, like, probably not.
Probably not.
Because it's gonna, because the thing is, that stuff also pushes, like, because I said this before, and I think when Legal first brought me in, I brought this up before, is you're looking at something that's going to be pulling a lot of voltage, generating a lot of heat. And you brought up soldering. Soldering can only withstand but so much heat until it starts melting.
That's facts.
And so even developers know that there's only so far they can push it. Because God, I can't remember where I found it at. But Legal, do you remember when I told you I came across an article where a developer was in the support? Basically, he was in a support call with with developer support, and they were kind of like, "Oh yeah, you can push it to this, but we recommend that you don't." And he was like, "Wait, what?"
Right. Exactly.
So even they can't, like, push it too hard because of the fact that they may cause the system to start throttling, trying to reduce as much of the stress and heat as it can off of those chips. And then you're probably going to start seeing, some pretty questionable performance.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's funny. So it's funny that this little chip revision is coming up and stuff like that. So
Right.
That's right. 6 nanometer. That's right.
Yeah. I'm dying to see how this plays out.
Right. Yeah, because we just sit back. I mean, like right now, it's been told, so it's not like Microsoft is going to lie. Microsoft doesn't have to lie about their technology. They don't have to, because
serious. I mean,
their stuff
it's
has
going
to
to
be out to massive people. Windows 11 is going to reach possibly 1 billion people.
Yeah.
They don't have to sit
Windows 10 already did that. It did that. It did a little late, but it did it, I think, this year or last year.
Right. Exactly.
And
so Microsoft doesn't have to lie about their stuff.
I want to go back to why I said what I said about the PS5, even now when we're talking about the 6 nanometer. Like I said, based on all the stuff we know, Blue Violet, right? And other people like him who have been leaking information long before the PS5 was even out, like I said, was closely following all the details. So when the specs finally came out from Mark Cerny and they were doing that overclocking, I knew that already was a bad idea, because these are consoles, and then we all know how people treat consoles. We all remember what happened with the 360, and we see how. Remember the code name of the original Xbox One and how it looks. It's code named Durango. It's built like a tank. It looks like a VCR. But guess what?
Does anybody know what a Durango is?
That's an SUV, a tough truck, right?
No. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm talking about a Durango.
Well, actual Durango, I have no idea. But as far as I know, the brand name, that's what I took from it. And because of all the red ring issues with the 360, as soon as I saw that was the code name for the Xbox One, I already knew it was going to be robust. It runs cooler than the PS4. You can Google that too, with less power, and it uses less power, I believe.
The original terminology
Xbox
for Durango, like one of the older terminologies for it, means massive mountains. So when you think of something Durango, you're looking at something big, strong, like a mountain.
Rough and tumble, basic. Okay, well, either way, see, this is a good, and that was good. Hey, that was great marketing on the truck. But see,
that's right. That's right.
So when I heard the code name for the Xbox One was going to be Durango, a lot of people were concerned.
You
hey,
knew
the
right
next
then
Xbox
was going to be right. I
already knew it wasn't going to overheat. None of the red ring things. None of that was going to be an issue because they were going to over-engineer it. They were going to make the system ugly. Form is going to follow function. Okay? It looks ugly, but it's going to be well cooled and all of that. They experienced what it's like to not give proper cooling to a machine, right? And they know how people use their machines. Sony knew the same thing, but they were pushed into a corner and they overclocked their machines. And I already knew as a console user, right? And all you are, that's not good when a console is running hotter than it was originally made to because they had to force it to run bad. So I already knew there was going to be a problem with the PS5.
Right, and also, what is the long-term effects of overclocking? What does it do? What's the long-term effects? It's always
if you can't keep it cool. If you cannot keep it cool sufficiently, that's bad for the life of the machine. Even if you can keep it sufficiently cool, right? If every device is overclocked beyond what it was originally made to be, eventually some of them are going to die because it wasn't made to run at that level of speed. Even if you can keep them cool at a speed that they weren't made to run, they still weren't made to run that hard. That's why I've never trusted the PS5 from the moment they said it overclocks to 10.2 because we all know
it's funny because a lot of them sit there and deny. They'll sit there and look you in the face and say, you don't know what you're talking about. The PS5 haven't been overclocked.
Yeah.
And if you try but see what's so bad is you try to look up the article because I found the article where it was mentioned that they overclocked it, try to match the Series X. You can't find the damn article now.
Right. And the
pardon my French, but it's that frustrating because you see what's going on. It's like, hold on a second. Y'all really trying to protect them that bad?
Right. Right, because the whole point of it getting up to 10.3 was so that they could try to say, well, look, there's not that much of a difference between 10.3 and 12. But actually,
remember Mark Cerny talking about, don't rely on teraflops.
Yeah. Right. And here's the other thing about that too. 9.2 or whatever it was originally, because remember all the leaks, we all knew 9.2, that was always the rumor, right? So when Mark Cerny said base 9.2, we all knew all those leaks were real. This is why we also suspect the PS5 was supposed to be out a year earlier, and that's why the SDK was so mature, because it was made to go based off what they had on PS4, and it was already good to go because they held it up a year. So of course the SDK is mature. Everything adds up.
When I cut off, that's what I was trying to add to what you're saying is the proof that the evidence is already out there because before the pandemic slammed down on us, who already had orders in to get more units in hand?
Sony. So Xbox didn't start producing yet. We all knew that because they told us. Microsoft was transparent, open about everything. Sony didn't tell us. Hell, Sony didn't even show off the system and what it looked like until the day, the day before they intended to take money up until Walmart screwed that up.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The way the system looked, sick. I don't think until the very last minute they had any idea how to make that Joker look because there was too much chatter about they couldn't keep it cool.
I think that was the old design, and I don't know what. But see, the only part with that theory is, why did they have plenty of time to redesign the chassis and didn't do it? I don't understand, right? That's the only part with that theory that doesn't fit, because they had plenty of time to redesign the casing. That's like one of the last things they do, because they gotta get the chip done and everything else and have the board ready and then see what kind of temperatures and power use it's gonna draw and then to design the case around it, unless Sony was that cheap and lazy or whatever and couldn't fund another redesign, because usually you go to some outside art design crew if you don't have something internal, right, to pay for that. Right. And Sony's money ain't long like that, particularly back then when they came off the PS3 and only just barely broke even, they definitely couldn't have had the money back then. And even as successful as the PS4 has been the last generation we see, they still didn't have that money. So they probably couldn't have. So maybe that explains it. But everything does add up otherwise. Like, they had to overclock it, right? Because they were scared, because they heard what Microsoft were doing. They couldn't do anything else about it. And they were like, screw it, we're just going to have to go with it like that. And our fans are so stupid and so loyal. They're loyal hoes like that. So they're just going to do it. And yo, they drink up that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
As her.
Emmanuel one is saying, dude, bruh, Sony isn't incompetent. They know what they're doing. They trust me. They know what they're doing.
They're willingly incompetent because they know their fans are willing to believe their bullshit.
Bingo.
Right.
And that's what makes them so dangerous, is the fact that they know how their fans are gonna clap for them. They know how they got media in their back pocket. That's what makes them troublesome.
Yep.
Nothing is more dangerous than an adversary who is actually clever.
Yeah.
Right.
What's up, Mr. Kima? What's up, Mr. Kima?
What's going on, Kima?
Yo, and the thing about that is, see, it all adds up. Like, we always knew. See, that's why I really do think the PS5 was supposed to be out a year before. I believe that because it all fits, right? But also, well, look at all the games that are not exclusive to the PS5. The God of Wars and what have you. They were never intended to be on anything else. That's also why, for the past 2 E3s, Sony didn't have much to show. They had all that narrative going. At that early point, if all the fact that we know now was revealed 2 years ago instead of last year, even the Sony fanboys, like all the mea culpa, all the comeuppance that these donkeys, these cult members, right? It's a cult, honestly. Like, I've never seen anything else act like that but cults, right? And the gaming media being in Sony's pocket. And the fact that Sony is starting to lose the gaming media and their ardent, crazy people, and and people who are stuck in the middle who don't care one way or another, and we just get the most popular one. If all that information had come out 2 years ago, Sony would have never even gotten off the bat with all those lies. Think about it. Look at all the facts at the table that we know now and knew then. Not possible.
J-Rock in that building.
Yeah, I see all the homies is hopping in now.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
It's game over tonight, bro. We talking our language tonight, man. It's game over. It is what it is. And we still haven't got through. Look, we still got a punch list to finish off.
So long story short, there's a lot we knew at the time from reputable people. I wouldn't call them inside. I would not call Blue Violet an insider. He's just highly researched.
He's intelligent.
Highly researched.
Nobody challenges him. Nobody.
Right. And
because if y'all notice one thing,
great. Yeah.
My man knows his tech, and not one single doggone pony dares to step to him.
No,
never. Well, they do.
No fake Xbox.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've only seen 2, and I've never seen them. I've never seen them again.
Right, and it's part and parcel of they can't even understand what he's saying because his tech is at such a high level, and his English is sort of iffy. So if you don't know the tech, his I'm not trying to knock him, but obviously English is not this person's native language. Okay,
my big bro, old school G in the building.
All the homies is there. Legal. That's your bro.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep.
That was an epiphany that dawned on me like 2 or 3 months ago. I had no idea. But anyway, so if you don't know the tech and stuff that he's talking about, you can't even talk shit to him because you're not on his level. Now, I think I've demonstrated I'm on his level. I'm not trying to pat myself in the back, but I'm just, here to paraphrase the knowledge that's been out there, and he's one of the key pieces of information from the bat. I forget what the code name was for the PS5, but I remember code name for the PS4 was Orbis. I should Google this. What was the code name for PS5? Or PS5.
The thing about it is, if you find it and you say
Prospero?
it,
That's not the name.
probably know what it.
Prospero is not the name that I remember. Prospero is not the name I remember. That's the one that comes up in Google. But that's not what I remember. But anyway, whatever. It was Onsen, something like that. It was something like that. And those rumors from back then said 9.2. Those early rumors, 9.2. And I'm going to give you contrast as to why I believe that stuff from way back then. The same stuff happened with the Xbox One and the PS4. This is why I remember the code name for the Xbox was Durango, and the PS4 was Orbis. Because before we know which one was which, we knew that Orbis was faster, but we didn't know which device was which, and then it come out to be the PS5, on the PS4. So it happened before. History repeats itself, okay? History repeats itself. It just, whose history it happened, right? Microsoft learned their lessons from what they were doing the last time and their mistakes. So they watched what was going on. They learned their lessons. The people who were in charge, who put them in that bad position, they excised all of them like a bad cancer. They cut that cancer away. Was it Orbis? Was PS5? Because I could have sworn PS4 was Orbis. But either way, whichever, the leaks were shown to be proving true from the moment Mark Cerny was on that podium. When the 9.2 overclocked to 10.2 or 10.3 or whatever it was. That's when I knew it was going to be a bad time for Sony. It was going to be a bad time for Sony. And all the RDNA 2 and 3 debate, and all the RDNA 2 and what did you say?
No, I was saying the code name was Erebus.
Erebus, yes, that's the one, right? So all that stuff they were saying already knew something was up. Because it was too consistent, too accurate. None of those early details were off even by a little bit. And the only reason Xbox surprised everybody was because there was no leaks about the Xbox. Oh, and the staff at Xbox who caused the debacles of last generation, they were like a bad cancer. They were cut away and replaced with good tissue, being Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and others. Okay? They got rid of all the bad people who were making Xbox into a bad design, into a bad thing, right? That wasn't working out. When Xbox was set on a path of glory, like the 360 was already planned before the original Xbox was put out. It was a 10-year plan. Legal, you've spoken on this many times. It was a 10-year plan. Live was a part of their plan. That's why the Xbox had an Ethernet port out the gate when high-speed internet was still a new thing, and people were complaining like, "Why are they forcing us to have high-speed internet and all that stuff?" Well, and
just to bust your bubble, all the Xbox haters out there, Microsoft built the HDMI 2.1 cables. Keep going, Sid.
So all these things you see, it all adds up. And so you see what's going on now. It's all, and then you look at this whole RDNA 2 and 3 debacle. You know when that ended? That same point when those X-rays came out. When people can just look at the goddamn chip and see what's on them. You can't hide it then. Right. When they looked up the story and they saw it was there.
All the
debate ended.
How long can you remain stupidity?
Stupid? You have to be a cult member because a lot of people are starting to come around. A lot of people, but there's also a lot of people who are just coming around for the sake of clout and clicks and stuff. I'm sure the AP99 who's starting to claim he's seen a lot of Xbox and other PlayStation fans are attacking him now. No, he just sees the writing on the wall and he wants his click and his clout, so he's moving on to Xbox. Just like when Crap tried to move over to PlayStation. And he did. He can stay over there now. We don't want you back. Because I didn't like you when you were pro Xbox then.
He called himself trying to flip back over to here. And he can't even do that right because he it's like the moment he tries to flip back over and like something is like a little out of whack with the Xbox news, he defaults back over to doggone the Ponyville.
Yep. But I mean, it's the same old thing.
Y'all wasted a lot of air on that dude, man.
Nah,
That
it's just
dude's
that you gotta
that dude's
see
been out. That
the
dude's been
mentality
out.
of it.
How long has that dude been out, man?
No, a long time, but it's the mentality.
Oh no, we just drawing up a point. That's all, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all.
the mentality of it. He's just an example of how a
That's
lot
what
of
I'm
these guys
saying.
are.
How long? You got to understand something. Certain people have the ability to hold on to stupidity for
Reasons.
years. That's an ability, bro. Like you got to give them some credit.
You have to force yourself to do that because eventually your emotions, your mind will tell you different.
Be able to clown yourself like that, that's a skill. That's a skill that's beyond
no self-respect neither. I can never clown myself like that, for clicks, man. I always say, bro, I'd rather be Patrice O'Neal than Chris Rock. And ain't nothing against Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock is funny as hell. But Patrice O'Neal was the GOAT, and he's dead. But he's respected still.
Right, but I'm living in these times. Nothing surprises me anymore, right?
Nope.
Xbox Game Pass is built into Windows 11, bro. Built into Windows 11. PC gaming features also include Auto HDR, Direct Storage API again. PC gaming features. Windows 11, the next version of Microsoft operating system, will offer a number of features targeted toward PC gamers. Led by Xbox Game Pass directly within Windows' new Xbox app, Microsoft announced Thursday during its Windows 11 reveal. This is crazy. Presenting Windows 11 at its best Windows ever for gaming, Sarah Bond, Xbox corporate vice president for game creator experience and ecosystem, appeared on Microsoft's live stream to announce that Xbox Game Pass will be built right into Windows 11. Microsoft has been testing this functionality for many months with a redesigned Xbox app for Windows 10.
Yes.
We'll say this again. Xbox is PC, PC is Xbox. Yes. Meaning, for all you idiots out there that keep thinking that, well, I'm buying me a PC, I ain't getting me an Xbox, so I can. If you say
whatever.
If you're caught saying this on social media, this exact phrase, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I ain't buying an Xbox console. I'm buying a PC so I can play those Xbox games on.
I'm going to paraphrase what they're saying. I'm going to paraphrase what they're saying in a different light with cars. Okay. And it's going to make your example all the easier. Right? Let's say you like a certain brand of car, right? You don't like this brand anymore because they're not making the type of car you want. You're going to go to the other brand to get a truck, right? Right? But they used to make sedans, and now they're only making trucks. And you're going to go to the sedan brand of the other guy who makes trucks and sedans. It doesn't matter which one you get. They're still getting your money. It doesn't matter. Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox in every way. The APIs, the software, the games, the features now, everything. It used to be Xbox was getting features from PC. Now PC is getting the features from the Xbox, and it's like one and the same. They going back and forth.
Sick. Let me say it even better that I was telling somebody today. I said, I'm just going to say it like this, man. I hope that everybody can understand this one. Xbox isn't just a console. Xbox, when you look up the definition of Xbox, it's the gaming brand for Microsoft. The gaming brand. xCloud is Xbox. Xbox Live, Xbox. Xbox the consoles, Xbox. Game Pass, Xbox. So wherever those are at, you have to have an account to initiate that. Once you obtain an account, you automatically become a member of the Xbox community.
Yep. And
you cannot
ecosystem.
get Game Pass without an account. You cannot get Xbox Live without an account. You have to have an account. Nobody said you had to pay for anything. You just have to have an account. You can't. You won't be able to play your game. Even if you put the game in the console, it'll load up and everything. But if you don't have an account, you're not playing on that console. Bottom
Nope.
line.
Nope.
Gotta be registered. You gotta have a driver's license, bro.
At least the basic account, not even to go online, just to play in the system so you can track your achievements and all that stuff.
Right.
Like, you gotta have something.
You gotta have it. Yes. Look what Phase 11.4 said. They just announced Windows 11 will have Xbox in the operating system. What will be the excuse now? Exactly.
And the thing is, we already had that, like I explained earlier, but now it'll be built in. It won't be some separate app. Like, Windows, we have the game bar. You hit Windows and G, it's the game bar. It's like pressing the Xbox button on your Xbox controller. The thing slides out. You can do your party chats and all that stuff, right? This is how you do all that party chat stuff I was talking about on the PC before. But now it'll be built in. It won't be some app that you install. It's a function of the operating system. 1.0 out the box or out the download nowadays, because who gets a disk of Windows to install, But there you go. Day one, built in. It's a part of what it is off bat. That auto HDR, wait till they add that auto Dolby Vision to it. Like they're just now experimenting with the Xbox. Wait till they add that, because that will come later. Okay?
Yeah, I got something for that. I got something for that later on. We're not even going to talk about that yet, but I've learned something. And I'm very, very extra hyped about what I've learned. I have been very behind on this kind of knowledge, but my eyes have been woke to this, and I'm literally amazed at Microsoft right now. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna speak on it soon, but I'm gonna speak on it before the summer's over with. But this, because I gotta actually take my time with this. I'm actually like a kid in a candy store right now. But yeah, y'all, this whole situation that Xbox just isn't on another level or anything is dying, man.
I'm on a new level.
It's just on another level, man. And it's just gonna keep getting better. This whole situation with the Rift Breaker supporting Fidelity FX on the Xbox Series X, and the comment is what gets you, right? When it says nothing stops devs from enabling it on the PlayStation 5. Correct.
It's open source software,
right?
Or at least next month when it comes out.
The problem still with that is that PlayStation's structure isn't structuralized as strong as Microsoft's. They're still having to. I bet even with this, they're still going to have performance modes, because just the way the console is made, it's the old way of making a console. So it's still, the more you push, but then that the situation with the Fidelity FX, it'll really, really be good for PlayStation 5. Really, really, it's already. What's awesome of what it'll do for the Xbox? All its games will be able to utilize it.
That's the funny thing too. That's funny thing. If you think about it, in the early days when the Xbox One wasn't doing too well, they would do all types of temporal upsampling and upscaling, and then eventually Sony got into that game with the what's that thing? Cross what's that upgrade? What's that upscale thing they do? Cross Jesus Christ. You know what I'm talking about? Checkerboarding, right? Even Sony got into that game, right? It was a thing, but Xbox, let's be honest, particularly needed that, right? That was a thing they developed. It's ironic now that PlayStation needs that more than ever, but it'll be the Xbox who's really going to leverage that, because the base FSR with that temporal upsampling thing, that's the step above basic ass FXAA, right? The basic anti-aliasing that's out there, where it's basically a blur filter. FSR is a couple steps above that, right? But what the Xbox is gonna have is more like DLSS when they add in the machine learning, where it's more like real AI machine learning upsampling, and that's something the PlayStation will not be able to do. But at least it's gonna have this.
Look right here, boom.
Well,
and it needs that.
Here's the thing, though. Just to be fair, all right, just to be fair. Now, PlayStation will be able to do machine learning, but there's only one way how.
Hardware acceleration.
No, it'll have to be coded. It'll have to be software based. Because
that's not
it's going to eat up resources.
I don't consider that real, but okay, fine. Well, apparently you're being nice. I'm just being blunt, but I'll be fair. I'll be fair with you. That is true software. That is true. That's in software. But we know what the difference is between hardware accelerated and software accelerated. Mm-hmm. The Xbox will be hardware accelerated. The PlayStation will be software accelerated, and we always know which one is better than which.
You're gonna
right. and to go to what Jeremy Merchant is saying, the Fidelity FX, mm-hmm. it will be able to allow the modes to exist. Okay, so basically, mm-hmm. for Xbox, the beautiful thing about Xbox would be, let's say it will be. To me, my theory on it would be if you had something that did not quite reach the full potential of the Xbox qualities. Let's just say like right now, right? The full potential quality of the Xbox Series X is 4K 120 right now with mm-hmm. with 2.1 ports, right? We're not talking 8K right now. We're just going to keep it with the 4K.
So even though it's capable.
Right, 4K 120 right now is the dead on highest ability, right? Now let's just say you don't have a 4K 120 monitor or TV with that port to properly push out that specs, right? And let's just say you have a 4K 60, all right? What the Fidelity FX will now allow you to have options. But watch for the Xbox is going to be real beautiful, right? Because you will never
exactly, Mr. Keeman.
Right. You would never have to compromise your 60 frames. Because remember, that's the standard over here. So if you're 4K 60, right? Let's just say I don't know. You got a backwards compatibility game. Let's just say it like that. You got a backwards compatibility game, and you're putting it in. All right. It will be able to boost that up. So it was a 1080p 30 frames per second game, and you got a 4K 60 TV. You might be able to now play that game at 1800p or 1880p 60 frames per second, or even possible 4K. Now, if you wanted to get to that 120, all right, you might you're I don't even know. I don't know how that would work, because 120 you would have to have 2.1. You have to have that for a monitor. You would have to have a monitor. So let's just say if you had a monitor, right, that wasn't 4K. Let's just put it like that. And it was 1080p, or not even that. You're able to get it at 1440, and let's just say it was, I don't know, 1080p. See, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're going to have, there'll be modes that will allow you to upgrade. Just put it like that. I guess it would only work going backwards, is what I'm trying to say. It would not work going forward, because if you don't have the technology for it, you're not going to get the 120 just miraculously. Like, this thing ain't going to give you 120 like that. But for anything that was weaker, this thing is going to enhance it. Like, for instance, Forza Motorsport 4, right? That was at its best 4K 30. It's not 4K 30 anymore. It's going to be 4K 60. And then if you upgrade to a 120 hertz device, right? Or frames per second device, right? You will now be able to play it at 4K 120, while before you wasn't able to. And just notice that the graphics are going to be super enhanced.
Yep.
That's the crazy part about it.
That's the kicker right there. That's the main killer right there.
Right. You don't lose it. That old way of doing it. Oh, well, we're moving up in frames so the graphics go down. Those days is over.
Yep.
Those days is over with Microsoft it is. We can speak for Microsoft, just like that article says. We don't know nothing on the PlayStation side yet. We don't know, there's nothing stopping nobody from using this thing. But as far as Microsoft go, it's a green light.
Yep. And here's the thing about that too. Here's something that's going to bake your noodle if you actually think about it. When you look at the Series S, you've seen some frame rate analysis and resolution analysis from VG Tech. Forget Digital Foundry. If you just want unbiased specs on frame rate and resolution on a game, check out VG Tech right here on YouTube, right? There's no voiceover. It's just the video of the games running with the frame rate counter with the little chart. And if you really want to see the resolutions and stuff, you just look in the description and it'll tell you the base resolution was this, it upscales to this, once in a while they might have had this frame rate, blah, blah, blah. No talk, no person to throw a little bit of shade like they do on Digital Foundry in the Madden review on Xbox when they were like, oh, it runs great, but here was this one time when it dropped one frame when you look, sideways with your fingers crossed, on a leap year when in the full moon or whatever, right? They had that little bit of shade to Xbox. There's just no talking. It's just straight facts, right? But think about it. The Series S, we know, sometimes it has a little bit of struggle with some games. This FSR, and this is before we even get to the machine learning that the Series S has. It has everything the Series X has, it just at a lower tilt, right? Wait till that starts to be leveraged in the Series S. You think Little Man is a beast now? Wait till this really flexes its muscle with the machine learning. Or even before that, but this FSR alone is going to have it really punching above its weight. You think it punches above its weight now? Just you wait. And then it's going to get that championship belt when it gets that machine learning and it's cracking dudes bigger than
you could say A6, you could say it's the Chris Benoit of consoles.
Yeah, a little short dude who was messing guys up until I was gonna say something that would have come off bad because he ended unfortunately badly. But anyway, the Series S is really gonna be the one to show off how useful and how much better it makes the situation.
Exactly. There you go. It's the Series S that's going to really make this thing, the Fidelity FX, really showcase. Because, see, the thing about it is the Series X, nobody's doubting that. That's the Godzilla. It's the Godzilla and the King Kong combined. There's nothing even touching it, right? But because the Series S is designed the way it is, the people who went and bought the Series S, they are about to get blessed. As long as you have a Series S, now you have the time, you have all your freedom time to upgrade if you like. Even the monitor. I mean, it's getting crazy out here. It really is. And that's a whole nother, right? That's a whole nother video. And like, we have another video that we're so hyped about, and I hope that everybody tunes in for that one. But I'm kind of like saving what I'm trying to do for that one. I want to actually live that one. I want to live through that one. So but as far as Xbox goes, I'm literally so hyped right now. Like, they really push the boundaries, man, with this console and have taken care of business. I mean, at the end of the day, Microsoft has taken care of business when it came to the Xbox. There's no loopholes in this console, man.
No.
And the funny part about it is when this stuff starts hitting, There's no stopping them because this was their whole plan, was just to get to this point. They had their ups and downs. They had their change of roles and things like that. Yeah, it was dark and gloomy for Xbox back in 2014, 2015 year. But man, I'm telling y'all, like
I tell them, this ain't 2014 no more.
Oh no, it's look, the minute Microsoft incorporated, they used to have Xbox sitting on the side. Xbox used to be on the sidelines with Microsoft. Yeah, it's Microsoft, but the people who was even working for Microsoft, they didn't even take time with this thing because this thing was a console. Most of the people who were in charge with Microsoft's gaming division were Windows 10 people. They were computer people. And we're not even talking about Windows 10 gaming. We're just talking about Windows 10, the operating side of things. They didn't have no passion for gaming. They didn't know how to talk gaming language. They didn't know none of that stuff. You know, so it's now to a point where Xbox is being controlled by gamers of Microsoft. Gamers. And that's for the first time. So like I keep telling people, you're looking at a rebirth. You can't look at Xbox, and you can't even look at Xbox after 2017. Before 2017, that's a whole different Xbox, a whole different family. 2017 and up is the rebirth. And it's gonna be hard. I'm telling you, it's gonna be real hard to make Xbox look bad anymore. You're gonna start to see, and like I told you, I'm saying it again because I want to make sure everybody knows that I said this, right? They all gonna fail you, all right? Every single one of them. You're gonna be mad because they're no longer fitting your narrative anymore. See, because the thing about the media is this. It has to go where the success goes. That's how the media makes money. The media can only hold on to what's not successful for so long. Then it has to hop on that success train. So when you know the media, you're just waiting for it. That's what we're doing. We got our popcorn. We're just waiting for it. And some of them are already breaking. They slowly coming to make good articles about Microsoft. But we're never going to.
But some of them keep trying. You know, there's those holdouts that keep trying their shade, but it just exposes how fake they really are. That's all it does. Still there? Hello?
Yeah. No, you're right. No, you know, it's just we're not gonna forget the gatekeepers.
Oh yeah.
Gatekeepers are. So
yeah, some of them have it on their chains. Hint, hint. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
We're just gonna clown them. Right. That's just gonna be funny stuff from this point on out. But we understand what's going on. We're not perfectionists. We don't, we don't work for Microsoft. We don't know everything. But we understand, we understand kind of what's going on. And Microsoft, what I enjoy the most about them is how they keep us informed. They keep their culture and their community informed. What was it? What's the 3 C's? Commitment, culture, and community, right?
Yep.
And they built themselves off of that. And so they want to commit to their word. They always want to be a part of their community. And culture is that way of life. And you see it in their new marketing video, the one that's advertised right now all across TV. This is a love story. And for once, somebody's actually making sense. I know how to criticize Xbox because I'm an Xbox fan. For once, you're making commercials that actually make sense. Because you're right. Xbox is built off of those of the 20th anniversary. If you've been with Xbox for 20 years, you helped build this thing to where it's at. You can get a 21 gun salute. And for Xbox to recognize that tells you about their integrity, but their respect for their gamers. And I think they're listening to us more than ever. They're doing whatever they have to do to keep us pleased. And Game Pass is just phenomenal. There's no answer for Game Pass, and there will
Not at
not
all.
be an answer for Game Pass because
Which is
nobody,
unfortunate because they could do something similar, at least with their backlog at very least. But they're not gonna. And the PlayStation fans keep saying they don't want it. But as soon as if they did, man, they would flock to it so quick anyway. But they're not gonna. They just don't.
There's a big problem as to why that won't happen, and it's already been shown and it's already been talked about. For you to rake in big profit, because this goes back to legals. You know, little bank can't step to big bank. You got to be prepared to lose. You have got to be prepared to be a loss leader. That is where that's where the conundrum is for Sony as to why they're not going to do anything like Game Pass. The closest you're going to get your Game Pass is what you have now, which is that PS Plus. I keep confusing them. What is it? PS Plus or
PlayStation Plus? It's PlayStation Plus. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's about as close as you're gonna get.
Oh no! I'm sorry. You mean PlayStation Now? Yeah, that was the PlayStation Now.
Oh, it's now. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not PlayStation Later, is it?
But apparently,
yeah,
apparently that should have been the real name. But yeah,
yeah, because that's when you're gonna get them games later.
Yep, as always.
But yeah,
that's why I'm not surprised that Gran Turismo got delayed. It always does.
But yet they talk so much smack about the delays that we have and stuff, and it's like like come on, man. But yeah, I mean that's the bit that sorry to jump in on you like that, legal, but yeah, I had to add to that, man, because you had some solid points, but it's just that they have to be prepared to lose, and Sony's pockets are not that deep like they used to be anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
So everybody who sits there talking about Sony, you got the answer. You got the answer to this Bethesda thing. Get Square. Buy Square. They can't.
They can't afford it.
Buy Konami's whole backlog. They can't.
They can't afford it.
I mean, heck, dude, what they had in the chamber, they done pulled to get Insomniac.
Yep.
Whereas the whole missed potential should have been getting Blue Point. Now Blue Point got to wait another 5 or 7 years before they finally pull the trigger on them.
And here's the funny thing: Blue Point isn't even a W for them when it finally happens, because Blue Point has only done stuff for Sony. That's their little
they've been doing them
remake, technical
support
showpiece. Like when they were porting Zone of the Enders 1 and 2 on the Xbox 360 and PS3. Remember when the Xbox version was destroying the PS3 version and they reported Zone of the Enders 2 because that second version was really bad? It was 2 studios and Blue Point was one of them. And Blue Point is one of those little technical Marvel dudes that Sony have, one of the few they have that really rep for Sony and really put down on the technical angle, right? So if they were to finally buy them, it's been so long, it's not a W anymore. It's basically all they ever do is Sony stuff anyway. That's not a W. A W is if they bought Square, which they can't afford. A W is if they bought Bethesda, which they can't afford.
And everybody thought they were going to do.
Right. A W is when they buy something that was multi-plat, not when you buy something that only ever worked for you anyway. Because all you're doing is keeping the other guy from taking from you what you already had. If you have to pay for what you already have, that's not a W. That's not a W. That's just you being afraid not to lose anything else you already had for free. That's how scared Microsoft has. Because if Microsoft was to buy Blue Point, bro, I can't laugh that hard. I can't laugh that hard without my stomach starting to hurt. Like, come on. If that happens to Sony,
The
Dude,
ultimate slap in the face.
that's the ultimate L. That's the ultimate L that I can't even imagine. I can't imagine a worse L than that. And there could be out there, but I'm not that heartless to imagine something that bad.
Like that's that special. That's that EX combo pimp smack.
Mm-hmm.
Special move. Down circle back. Strong punch.
Right.
Like Kano pulling your heart out your chest, man. That's
It
good.
is, man. It is. So, you know, like, salute to Microsoft, man, and all their work. Because, you know, even with the thing about Halo Infinite, man, about to be done in like a few more weeks, Phil Spencer said, it's like this game. It's funny how Microsoft has they have all this time. Think about it. The game is going to be finished, but yet it's going to be released in November.
Yeah, they have so much time to get not bugs because they've been working on bugs, content, extra things that they didn't have time for originally.
Storyline down.
Yeah.
They got the even got the multiplayer down. It's crazy. Excellent. And
all the little extras that they wanted to do that they didn't have time for, they could implement all the little hints, and you know there's gonna be some kind of achievement or whatever that has to do with Craig, where you're gonna beat his ass down, or if you kill him the same way in that original demo with that elbow, and then you get his head or whatever, and you find him or whatever.
I hope, man.
And you kill him the same way as that original demo. Yeah, they have time to implement things like that. Like they've taken over the whole thing you tried to create to shame them. Now they're using it to shame you back.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
That's a whole side quest.
Halo 5 will have those real-time effects. It's so beautiful being right.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful being right. And it's just beautiful being an Xbox fan, honestly. Like I said, man, it's gaming, right? And I really Microsoft, look, what cracks me up is like people act like there's not enough games to play on Xbox. Like, I'm literally crowded. I'm playing Biomutant, loving it. And my thing about playing on Xbox, I like the controllers, man. I like the way the controllers in. It's having an Xbox experience is more than just playing a video game on Xbox. It's more than that. Or, you know, like, they think, oh, you don't have exclusives. So because I didn't have exclusives as much as y'all did, I wasn't having an Xbox experience. That's why I'm dead in that. Look, any game that comes on my Xbox and I'm playing it on that controller and I'm playing it on Xbox Live, that's a totally different experience than what you're playing. I know, because it's not like I've never played anywhere else. It's laggy. You see a bunch of tears, a bunch of stutters. The connection service ain't always there. But when you're a casual gamer, you roll with the punches with that. Xbox wasn't built on casual mindset and casual gamers. It was built on hardcore gamers. So a hardcore gamer is always going to want better for its experience. And they're not content with it. So there's a different mentality over here in the Xbox community. We just have a different mentality. That's all it is. You can't bring that casual talk over here. It just doesn't work. If we had casual mindsets, we wouldn't have the Xbox Series X today. We wouldn't. That's the difference. You don't understand why you have a PS5 the way it is. Well, I'm here to tell you, because you're a casual gamer. Is that a knock against you as a gamer? No, because there's levels to this, like I always said. You're just the second tier above beginner. That's where you're at. And so if Sony knows that about you, even if I was a company, if I knew that about you, why would I spend all this money making a high-end tech situation for somebody that's not even going to be using that, or is not even going to be utilized, not even going to go out and spend the money to get the gains out of something? See, Microsoft knows that we'll go out and buy stuff. You know, y'all used to make fun of us with the controllers and stuff. This is exactly why Warner Brothers and Microsoft has gotten that partnership with the new Space Jam movie that's coming out, and it's Game Pass exclusive. It's a Game Pass exclusive deal coming to Game Pass first, and then when the movie comes out, I think it comes 8 days before, and then when the movie comes out, something like that, it comes out on Xbox, and he ain't mentioned no other consoles. And then we get three, not one, not two, but three customized Looney Tune controllers. You don't think we're not going to buy that? Of course we are. And you wonder why we're getting taken care of. You wonder why Game Pass. Oh, and by the way, it is coming by way of free day one if you're Game Pass Ultimate. So see, having Game Pass Ultimate has a bunch of perks with it. It's not just something that we do. You get your rewards from that. It's just the way we are. And I think, you know what, tomorrow, I think when I wake up in the morning, I think I'm going to buy me. Tomorrow I'm going to Best Buy, and I'm going to get me a year of Game Pass Ultimate. That's what I'm going to do to myself. I'm going to treat myself tomorrow. Because Best Buy right now, if you buy 3 months, they add 3 more months to that card. That's just for everybody that I know, surrounding my surrounding areas, to all my Texas family out here. So you go to Best Buy, you buy one, it's basically buy one, get two, get one free.
Or does that offer work online?
I don't know.
Or do you have to go in store?
Right. So I'll get like 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom. That's a year. That's a fresh year, man. Because let me see right now. Let me look. I'll show you what I got right now. Because I did the 3-year thing. So for me, it's just keeping up with it, right? For me, it's just keeping up with it. And like right now, let me see where I'm at. Let me go to my subscriptions real quick. And I'll tell you, every now and then, I'll just buy Game Pass Ultimate. It's nothing. Because once I had a 3-year start, I just keep it going. Like right now, wow, I didn't even know this. My next charge for Game Pass Ultimate is 9/30 of 2022. So I'm well over a year. So what I need to do now is just go and knock myself over into 2023. And then I can go all the way up to 2024 if I want. So that's what I'll do. That's exactly what I'll do. I don't have to have Xbox Live Gold because it's already incorporated in my in my Game Pass Ultimate.
Wow.
And then my EA Play, I got that. I don't even have to worry about that. So it's canceled. It's all canceled. I don't have to use it. Even my Game Pass, all that's canceled because everything is in one package. And that's the beauty of it all. And what I'm loving about Xbox right now is how everything is spelled out. I love the way everything is spelled out. Shout out to my man Rain G4.
Rain G4, what up, homeboy?
Thanks, man, for all the support that you do for me, man. Seriously, man. Facts. I really appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate
facts right there.
I really appreciate him. I'm gonna do something special for him this year too. As you know, matter of fact, Rain G4, just let me know what game you want, man, by the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? I'll take care of you, man, because you always show me support everything that I do, man. I don't mind, brother. So no, don't thank me. No, thank you, fam. Appreciate you. If you hear me, man, just let me know. Send me by way of Xbox or by way of Twitter, whatever, man. Just send me the name of the game, bro. And I think I got you too sick. You know what I'm saying? So he's 6'6", too picky, so he ain't sent me nothing yet. But I've been told him that I think since springtime. I still ain't got no word from Stick yet. But it's just my way of showing appreciation, man, to you know, people who actually, you know, do things from the bottom of their hearts, man. I can't like I said, man, shouts to Stone King, because I'm getting I mean, this guy comes out of nowhere.
Oh
and
yes, he's been supporting on One Away Dragons. He put out codes as well. Yes, that's right.
This dude comes out of nowhere, right?
Yep,
And
been supporting the community.
Yeah, he's gifting me Scarlet Nexus Deluxe Edition, digital, like by way of gifting. And I'm just like, you can't. Look, man. We love what we do, right? We enjoy what we do. Shout out to my man Teknoblast, man, taking a break. I told him, man, take a break, man. He's been working on his house, doing a great job, man. You know, as I always, man, being a dad, you know, and a husband, but being a dad, man, he's got a lot of good influence on that younger son of his, man. That little boy.
Hey, folks, you've seen it on camera.
You be seeing it, man. He can't.
His face lights up.
He can't go anywhere, and that little one is right there, man. And it's good to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always tell Tech, man, he doesn't embarrass the show. He enhances it, because I enjoy seeing that. You know, I'm a father as well. I enjoy seeing that. You know, and it's good. Shouts to E for stopping by, man. Got to get E back on. Shouts to Sensei and his brother Logic.
Yes,
those two comrades, man. I enjoy them. Shouts to them, man, because they're fighting hard. Sick, they fighting hard.
Yes.
Shouts to my man Fireboss over here, who Fireboss, man. I mean, it was the other day, man. I mean, me and him probably talked for damn near 4 hours, man.
Oh, and another homie. Yes, this is true about Fireboss, but another homie, Other Zinc. Like, wow, this dude, my God, him, Sleepy Goblin are two names, bro, all the time. Like, when we're about to do Dragon's Den, already in the chat before I am. When we're doing GRG, in the chat before I can be. Like, always there supporting. Always there supporting the Xbox fans and the Xbox community. He reps hard. Some people might say a lot of negative things about him, but no. Objective facts, bro. Objective facts. And if you don't know what objective facts are, because you can't see it. Some people like to say that, I'm being messy. No, I'm being blunt with impeccable timing. I'm just saying the truth in the way flat, with not trying to make anybody look good or bad, because you know what? What you do with the facts determine that, not me or how I say it. I say it straight so there can be no confusion at what it is. When people look back at the story and they can decide for themselves who was right, who was wrong, who was true, and who was false. And Other Zinc is always true.
Shouts to Fugly, always making people laugh.
Fugly as well. Yes.
Fugly always makes people laugh. This guy, I enjoy him throughout the day, man, because if I know I need a laugh, I'm waiting on Fugly, man. This guy has a sense of humor, and we need to laugh. We need to have laughing is good for the soul, man. It's medication for the spirit. Shouts to Mr. Kima,
Mr. Kima, another name. Yo,
Mr. Kima is the reason I'm here. There is no New Eagle without Mr. Kima. There isn't.
And there's so many other names I don't want to miss out on. And if I miss out on names, brothers, please and sisters, please don't think it's any kind of shade or anything like that. There is just so many of you that I can't remember them all. And when I remember later, I feel bad about it. Y'all have always been loyal.
Right, we're doing this. This is like this. We're doing this, man, out of just random thoughts. I see my man Jeremy Merchant. Red Dead Panda. Those are everybody in the chat. I love them.
Radiance.
Like that. Everybody that comes in the chat, I got with the for you.
Great question.
These are the outstanding ones that stick out, because no matter where I go, they're there. They're like, there's history with us. Yes. Jeremy Merchant, he's a DX man as well, but this guy is Australia. If I need to know something, what makes him so beautiful? He's in the future.
It's true.
This dude's telling me that his EB Game Store already has the pre-orders for the Looney Tune controllers, and he sends them to me, and I'm sitting there jelly, dude, because we
Right,
can't
because
get
the day is the day before. Is the day that we gotta wait on. But it's the future for him.
Right, but we can't get it because EB Games is GameStop here, but GameStop is not running the controllers here. It's Amazon or the Microsoft store in America on our side, but on his side, it is crazy how they do that. Shout out to
and even if it was, he gets to do it a day early. Oh, yep, old school G, your little brother, man.
Old school G. Shout out to Emmanuel A1. You know what I'm saying? Always been around. Always been around. JyzalRock, the up and comer, the rookie of the year. I appreciate JyzalRock.
JyzalRock, indeed.
Because JyzalRock is straight street. JyzalRock embodies the street, man. And I enjoy him because of that. And like I said, man, he's one of those guys that that can hold his weight, man. And it takes a lot. It's good to just watch him. It's good to just watch him because everything he says is facts. Eli in the building. Eli stopping by. I haven't seen Eli that much, so we want to say thank you, Eli, for stopping by. And you're home anytime you want to stop by. You're more than welcome. Let's see. My man FaZe 11-4. Me and FaZe go back, man. We go back 6 years, man. At least 5, a good 5. FaZe is family. FaZe is just straight family. There's nothing else to say about that. Radiance 96 came in here dropping jewels today.
Yes, he did.
He came in dropping jewels today. He flowed right off of me, sick, and he was dropping jewels. Sakata's been in here. Sakata's been, showing support to the DX Mansion with a consistent value, man. I just want to say we appreciate you. Make yourself right at home. Let's see. Of course, Six Slayer and all them up in here now. But I want to say to the viewers as well, we know we can't see you, but we know you're here. The viewers as well, we appreciate you as much as we can. I mean, to our full capacity. Y'all just don't know, man, that this situation with me being able to come out here, see y'all chat up, hear y'all spit y'all's opinion, I made it. I reached my goal. It wasn't about numbers. It wasn't about the YouTube channel. It was all about the community with me. And it was all about getting the community to settle in with me and have fun with me. Because, like I said, I tend to look at things differently. Y'all are like my fans, but they say that, right? That's what they say. But if I had to say it for myself, I'm y'all's fan because I'm a fan of y'all. The Xbox community is what I enjoy. And like I said, when I was utilizing Mixer, when I was utilizing Clutch Win, and all my resources, when I was on Twitch, it was the community's reception of me is what made me start to question what else could I do? What else could I do? And like I said, Kate Yeager, I owe her so much. I respect her so much because it's crazy how she saw me. She is my greatest witness to where I'm at right now. Because without her, it's hard to take me face value unless you just really cool with me and understand that I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. But the fact that she's around and the fact that she's been on Di-RRec Gaming and told our story, that's it. I don't have to lie about anything. Y'all hear it from her. I was already interactive. I'm not this person that just popped up on the scene and just wanted to use gaming as a propaganda. That's not me. I came off of the interactions. That's where I come from. The interactions. When I was doing the mixers, the people who were growing my channel and things were actual gamers off of Xbox that I would actually either playing with or bump into. Then when they got comfortable with me, they were in the chat. Then when they realized what I was actually doing, they wanted to support. That's how it went for me. So now here I am. I didn't think I didn't know Six Slayer. I didn't know Fireboss. You know the story with Fireboss.
Hello.
He's and this is funny how I say this. Fireboss is
y'all there?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, now because for some odd reason Legal just cut out.
Oh, really?
He's been speaking the whole time, nice and clear.
That's all right, Fireboss. Look, we understand if there's some issues going on.
Yeah, there's always some little
I'm
technical issues on this
just
internet.
talking right now and showing some appreciation, and you just so happen to be the next one. Fireboss, what's so funny about you is you are directly from my comment sections. That's how I met Fireboss.
Straight from the basement.
Straight from the sick. He's from the depths of Di-RRec Gaming, bro. In the comment section, he was spitting so much fire. And look, watch, this is the truth. The reason why he knows I'm not lying is because I said this to him and he started laughing and I said, "What's so funny?" And this is what he said to me when I tell y'all what I said. I said, "Hey man," in the chat. And when I finally was able to reach out to him on Twitter, so I was telling him, I was like, "Man, you need your voice heard some kind of way, man." But I'm you had me kind of shook in a way because I was trying to figure you out because of what you was dropping in the comment sections were just ultimate jewels. And I started to think, damn, man, the way you're talking, the way you're presenting stuff, I wonder if this dude is a dev. And when I said that, he started laughing. So I was like, what's so funny, man? And he told me, I'm a indie developer. And I knew it. You can't talk like he talked and explain things.
And I can't program my way out of a paper bag, folks. But I helped out in a lot of the emulation community. This is why I know my gaming. Well, I never forgot the gaming history, but because I also was part and parcel of the emulation community, digging deep in keeping that history alive in the technology that we have today to replay our classics on newer hardware, it helped me to remember whys and hows, and I saw gaming in a different way, and I've never forgotten it since.
Facts, no,
Don't feel bad. I may have been the dude in charge and everything, but hey, you could put a gun to my head, talking about you're gonna make Mario jump right now. You have to smoke me.
Yeah, you have to smoke me. I can't program my way out of a paper bag, bro. But I know how it works. I know what you're supposed to be doing as a programmer. You do this, you do that, it'll work out. Because I've talked to the greats.
Yeah, but there's but in the development community, and I'll just drop this little jewel for everybody. In the development community, you always hear people talking about we don't need idea people. We need somebody to do stuff. No, man, you got to have
idea people more than anything else.
Because you got to have a concept of what it is you're doing and where you're going. But the thing is, it does help to know, to be able to do a little bit more than just point and say, "Ooh, can you make that round? Can you make that shiny?" You got to be able to like do more than that. And so for me, I'm also an illustrator and an artist, so I'm able to actually make visuals that they can see and understand and be like, oh, okay, I can animate. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm still trying to retrain myself to get back into pixel art though, because I used to be pretty decent with it. And when the guy that took over that role for me for doing graphics and everything, I admit that's on me. I got lazy and complacent and left it to him. And so yeah, when he bailed on us, that put us in a tough spot. So learn from my mistake. Always stay on top of everything. Stay on top of it. Be a doggone control freak. Be like, oh, you ain't got to do that, man. I got it. No, I got it.
Yeah, you got to learn. This is how you learn, by doing. You learn by doing.
So, but yeah, so like I said, I mean, this guy right here, Legal, I was surprised that he was even reading my walls of text. I'll be leaving this man skyscrapers of text
Yeah.
in his comments and stuff.
And,
I
yeah.
appreciate him checking it out too and reading it.
And there's one other person that I want to bring up, and in fact, I called legal to talk about this person. This is somebody on Twitter we've been communicating with for a while. She's been on Twitter for a while there. This is just a gamer, okay? She predominantly Switch and Xbox. Andrea Piccinini, okay?
So
real
yeah,
gamer.
I know who that is.
Gamer, okay? And she's just putting out facts. And as you know, some people don't take well to facts.
Tell her, please stop teasing those guys. Leave those guys alone.
She's not teasing nobody. She's just saying straight facts that people are getting in their emotions.
I know, man.
Children.
I know.
And these fools are starting to disrespect in a level and a manner that is unbecoming of anyone. Of anyone. Let me tell you, some of these clowns, the things and the way they talk and act towards this person, if I saw you face to face, you wouldn't have a face in the end. I'm telling you, the disrespect is real.
Mike Tyson said it best.
That's why they're doing it at the comfort of the keyboard. I wouldn't even elaborate on it no more. We got nothing but love for Andrea, man. We respect her.
Andrea, wonderful person.
I'm glad she has respect for us, man. And shouts to her, y'all. Shouts to y'all. Shouts to the whole entire Xbox community out there, man. That
real
never
talk
seems to fail when it comes to realness. Truth over feelings, man. That's the movement, and we're gonna keep banging that on out, man. We're gonna have fun doing this whole generation. They can't stop us, man. And it is what it is. Y'all say the last words, man, and send us up out of here, y'all.
Fire boss, sir.
Oh shoot, man, shoot. I appreciate you having me you on tonight, on the podcast and everything. It's always a joy to be in the same room with Sick, be on the same tag team and everything in the same corner.
I hear. Likewise, brother.
Yeah, but yeah, that's I guess the only thing I can add is that well, I'm sure all of you already know this, and you've heard me say it numerous times. Don't bother engaging with these clowns. Don't bother.
Not do it.
I mean, it's like I engaged with one earlier today during our brother Hebot's video and stuff like that, and I'll be honest with you, I was just kind of like a little freebie and stuff like that. But one thing I've noticed is it's like the more the conversation kept going, the more dumber this person's counter arguments kept getting, and he kept regurgitating the same thing. LOL, no game. LOL, Phil canceled this, and I'm like, dude, for somebody who proclaims to be a gamer, your knowledge is mighty light.
Not existent, more like.
And then kept going on and on and on about Metacritic this, Metacritic that, and I'm like, dude, if you got to rely on Metacritic scores, and if something is a GOTY, a Game of the Year recipient, then you just and even Hebot came in on it. It's like you just proved of us just how lightweight of a gamer you are.
Yep.
And be like, dude, you're a featherweight. Be like we can't give. Well, good Lord, we can't give you the strong stuff.
No doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
Be like, good Lord, legal. Put that bottle away. Don't let them see that. Don't let him get that. Yeah, he ain't ready for that.
Apparently not.
But yeah, and but that's what I'm getting at. Is don't bother, because as I was telling Hebot, it's like it's almost difficult to really even tell if a lot of them are really that serious or just really that challenged. It's and the thing is, you're only stressing yourself out. So do the one thing that they are not doing, and that they are trying to do to you. Just basically sit back and enjoy your gaming.
That's true. Sick. Anything else?
Yes, sir. Well, you can find me on Twitter You can just keep tracking me there. On the middle of the show, I was posting some news about Windows 11. A lot of folks had a lot of questions. I've seen, like I said earlier in the 4G QTV podcast, a lot of folks were asking a lot of questions about certain things, and I found a lot of answers that people were looking for. So just follow my tweets, man. I always try to drop knowledge. I try not to hoard knowledge. I try to spread it around. I'm not leaving this planet the same way it was when I got here. When my time comes, I've left some knowledge in people's hands to make things better than it was when I got here. And I try to do the same thing online. So
you gonna do your best Optimus Prime impersonation? You're gonna turn gray on us? Open your chest out and pull out the Matrix.
No. That's years from now, hopefully, man. I seem to be blessed with a family. We seem to be long-lived, so I expect to be here for decades longer to help spread knowledge and understanding. So that's what I try to be about. Just a gamer like you. I just happen to have interest in the technology and the behind-the-scenes things, and I'm observant of details. So I can understand and comprehend, and pass that knowledge along to others to understand what's going on in this gaming industry that we all love together. So just come check me out on Twitter. You'll follow me right there, and you'll be able to see what I'm doing, what I'm playing. Come check me out on pretty much every game platform except for what Nintendo has to offer for now. We'll soon see if they finally come out with that Pro. Maybe I'll finally jump on. But yeah, man, it's all about this gaming. It's all about spreading knowledge. That's what I love to do. So we're gonna keep it like that. Until next time, folks.
All right, everybody. Hey, that's a good show tonight, y'all. Appreciate everybody coming out. Truly from the depths of our heart, man. Hit the subscribe button. Smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Like my man Fireboss was saying, hit that notification bell.
Elbow drop that button.
Even though that bell's a lie.
Fact.
That drop kick.
That bell is a lie. It don't do nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. You really don't.
Right. Hey, never miss an opportunity to be a part of the livest breaking news, street depths of the underground of the Xbox community is right here. The echo chamber of the streets of gaming is right here. We take pride in that. We're very humble with the awareness, and we try to gravitate to the fans that don't have a platform but utilize their voices to be a driving force out here in our community. So we try to do our best in doing that. So with that, appreciate y'all coming out tonight, having fun with us. And like I say, always keep it gaming, chase that one up in life, maintain that one up, man. You got to keep that extra man. And until next time, guys and girls and everybody around the world, we'll see y'all soon. This has been Di-RRec Gaming, the new legal, Six Slayer, Fireboss. We're out of here.
Peace.
And if your name is Johnny, sweep the leg.